Hello and welcome, Xbox Nation, to the new episode of the Xbox Factor Podcast. I'm your host, Mr. BoomStick XL, and I got a chance. I'm so happy and so excited to be hanging out with Retri, Daniel McGee, and the Infinite One, Mr. Umbra, best voice in the business. Folks, we have an amazing show for you. We're going to be talking about Diablo 4. We're going to be talking about Minecraft Legends. And folks, just hot off the presses from Windows Central, Dead Island 2, according to them, well worth the wait. And yes, I just bought the $89.99 edition. And guess what? I am stoked. I am so excited for this game. I've been playing the heck out of Ghostwire Tokyo. I'm mad addicted to that game. And why I'm mad is because it's so good that it has pulled me from my second run, which I'm almost through, on Resident Evil 4 Remake to get the unlimited rocket launcher so I could run through it and try and get the S Plus on a third run. I mean, wow. Talk about a great time to be a gamer. There is literally so much going on in gaming outside of ABK. Sega, folks, they just are in the process of purchasing or acquiring Rovio, who is the maker and the original maker of Angry Birds. They're going to be bringing that to Sega. And folks, I'm actually happy about that because when Microsoft acquires Sega in 2024, well, that's just going to be another IP that they have for their mobile division, which is starting to really wreak its head on the importance for Microsoft moving forward. We have a lot to get into, but let's start with Retri. You've been very busy. First of all, the show on Sunday with Web Dave and special guest Kay Asante, Insider Kay Asante, by the way, because remember, he has now been slothed, so he is an official insider of gaming. Kay Asante, I know you're yelling at your screen right now. I love you. What's up, Retri? How you feeling, brother?
What's going on, Boom? What's going on, chat? Yeah, we had Kay for a second time on our show. He's great with the tech info, so it was
he's the techie for sure.
On the
did
show.
You know he was an insider though? That's what you didn't know.
Yeah. I saw from Sloth. I saw the AI, the robot known as Sloth, go after Kay. Give him the title of insider for the Starfield news. So good. Hey, good for Kay. I'm sure he got a bunch of DMs. So that's what happens when you get Sloth. But yeah, happy to be here. Happy to talk about. Right, exactly. Happy to be here, guys. So yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah, we have a lot to get into. I know one of your favorite topics of the day. Yes, sir. Oh yes, thank you, brother.
It finally came.
That's awesome, bro. That is very awesome of you. He's wearing a double barrel game shirt,
design.
And yes, I appreciate it, brother. Thank you. That's awesome. I'm wearing one also. I got the evil boomstick one on. There you go. The evil double barrel gaming one.
He's kissing up.
Listen. I
want to be on more of your shows. Get me on primetime.
You're welcome there anytime you want, brother. You just joined and say I want to jump in. You're in. You got the key. Daniel, what's going on, brother? It's funny. Daniel is what I love about Daniel is that you never know when he's excited or he's angry because it's usually just
the same.
He's just
all
Daniel.
the same emotions.
It's great.
Or he's gonna.
I had asked Daniel about because I was very excited in the chat. I was like, "Oh my god, Daniel! Dead Island 2," and he's like, Yeah.
Me and Daniel. We're on the same wavelength for once.
He was like, yeah, whatever. Daniel.
Like the gaming Eeyore. Oh.
Yes.
Sure. We're gonna be
okay.
Nintendo sucks.
You eat doo-doo and throw rocks. I love it. Daniel,
I actually don't even legitimately don't know. I'm assuming though.
What's going on, Daniel? How you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. I had a good week. Me and Umbra launched the fix last Thursday. Had a pretty good turnout.
Yep.
A little bit of technical trouble, but we got it sorted out, and it ended up being a really great show. So that was a lot of fun. And then pretty much it's just been grinding at work all week. So that's
that sucks. Life. So someone on this panel has to hit the lotto and kind of divvy it up to the panel members so you guys can take a break. Man. If it's me, don't worry. I'm definitely going to be sharing the wealth because there's only so much money a person needs. Shout out to Roshan Impenger in the chat. He says Starfield is bigger than Diablo 4 to me. Yeah, we get it, brother. But really, what I mean about Diablo 4, it's probably going to be the biggest multi-plat of the year. We'll get into it. But brother, good morning and thanks so much for joining us.
Can I just say, people always shorten Diablo 4 to D4, and it always makes me remember that. Do you remember that old sweary game D4?
Yes,
it was like Dark Dreams Don't Die, and they just called it D4. It stuck in my brain.
It was weird. I played it. It was an Xbox exclusive. I'm pretty sure that.
I think so. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. But it was definitely weird for sure. But yeah, when you say D4, I actually go in my mind go to that. I don't think of Diablo 4. I think of that game, which is bonkers. But Infinite Umbra, listen, congratulations to you and Daniel on an outstanding first episode. A really good turnout, by the way, for the fix. Good morning, brother. How you feeling?
I feel on top of the world. You know, it was something though, Boom, because when at 20 minutes, man, it was like 20 minutes of that stuff.
It felt like a couple hours, right?
It does.
20 minutes must have felt like forever.
And I was so confident. I'm like, yeah, I got this. Somebody killed him. Because I had the Aaron who was helping me. Shout out to Aaron. You all might see him on Twitter under Aaron. But he helped me out. And as we were going through OBS, I'm like, man, you sure I don't need that part? He's like, no, it'll come through desktop audio. I'm like, okay, all right. And so I'm all secure. I got everything else locked in place. And I'm like, yeah, right. He's like, be prepared. He did tell me he's Swedish, so he's like, just understands that something, some things won't. Some things will go wrong. I'm like, man, whatever. I'm ready to
rock and roll. I'm Infinite Umbra.
All right. Yeah. What are you talking about? Yeah, I'm good. And everything went wrong. I'm like, no. But other than that, Colt, it was so fortunate that he happened to join us like that.
Yeah.
And man,
he was able to solve it pretty fast.
Solved it really quick.
Colt Eastwood, right?
Shout out Colt.
And I reached out to him literally at the last second, and he was like, yeah, come on. Because I saw I kind of capitalized. I'm going to be slick a little bit because I saw like a lot of the contention going his way because of the whole Redfall thing. I was like, let me see if I can slide in there.
What you have to appreciate besides the way he does his videos, because look, I'm going to tell you like it is. There are very few that do videos like Colt. Like the amount of production and passion that goes into it. There's a reason why he has 150,000 subs. That's not an accident. I love Colt. I was very fortunate enough to meet him and his wife in person. What a great couple and what a great dude. He is as cool as the other side of the pillow. Absolutely. And yeah, what I appreciate, I think, about Colt that a lot of people, it goes unsaid. So I'm going to say it here on the air. He is someone that remembers what it was to have 1,000 subscribers. And he tells his story quite often about how, he didn't really hit his stride until like his 5th year on YouTube. And I love the fact that someone that has as many subs as he does will come on a show like mine.
Yeah,
will accept an invite to the fix on episode 1 because that's who he is. And I think that's one of the standout things. That's why I always say I could wake up tomorrow and have 1 million subscribers, and I'm just going to be the same dude. And if you have 30 subs, and you ask me to come on your show, and I have time, I'm going to come on your show because that's really what it's all about. And I love the fact that Colt does that. So I'm glad. I'm happy for you guys.
It was my first time meeting him too, and it was. If you had told me like, "Hey, your first time meeting this guy you've been watching on YouTube for like 3 years is gonna be on the first episode of your own podcast," I've been like, "Shut up, dude! You're full."
Dude, right? That's that's.
Hey,
but that's what it's all about. Yeah.
See how I bring the stars out, brother? Yeah. You better stick close to it. You know what I mean? Hold on to these coattails while you got a chance.
Okay. All right. That's how it is.
No, but much love to Colt and much love to you too, Boom, because I do believe you on that. I appreciate that from you guys and just the community that the Xbox creators are all about. You don't see that from anybody else. It's only really on the Xbox side of things. So I definitely appreciate that about you guys.
Yeah, I mean, Dealer's like that. I love Dealer. I haven't been on his show in a while. He's been one of mine in a while, but it's just been busy. Randall Thor, Jez Corden, they're also like that. Miles Dompierre, shout out to him. Yep. There are so many, like prominent Xbox representatives of the community that are pretty high up there when it comes to that's who he is, and they come on your show and it's like nothing, and you have a problem, they try to help you. That's what I love about the Xbox community. I think that it's the standout is how each creator, regardless of size, whether you have 100 subs or 100,000 subs, is always willing to come on someone else's show and spend some time with you, even if it's for half an hour or sometimes it's 45 minutes. I think that's amazing, and that's again, I say
why this is the best community.
It is.
This is the best community.
Or out of all the communities, it really is to me in the standout. And again, this is not shade to anyone else. I'm just saying that the Xbox community, for a lot of reasons, both through the representation of Xbox executives as well as the fans. So it's an overarching thing to get excited about, especially if you you like the Xbox brand. There's another reason why to like.
Get bent Stadia community. All three of you. Get bent.
Yeah, we told you. We told you. Too big to fail, right?
But you know what? Let's get into the opening topic of the show. And folks, like I said, look, I'm just a big old nerd, right? Like I don't care. My excitement pours out, and I that's just who I am. Hello, folks. This is who I am. I've been talking and wondering and waiting and hoping for Dead Island 2 to not only be released, but to be a good game. This is a game that was announced, folks, nearly a decade ago, and it's finally releasing this Friday. Like I said in the opening, I bought the $90 edition. I am not sorry that I did. These are the games. There are two things. There are two mindsets here. One, this is why during the holidays you should ask for gift cards, because I have an underwear drawer packed with them. All the boxers are surrounded by. They have a little space for my gift cards.
Why are they in your underwear drawer?
Because it's the most secure. I don't know why that. Why is it not with the socks? Why is it in my boxers? I don't know.
Secure. No one else is going in there. He's not wrong.
Hey,
I mean, it is.
You know what house to hit up for your panty raid.
There you go. You're gonna steal Mr. BoomStick's boxers, which are character based, by the way.
Yeah, you gotta go steal his boxers with the.
You can find all my gift cards. This is why I get gift cards for my birthday, for the holidays, because there's always going to be that one game. Now, I've never been the guy that buys just the game. I don't know. I like getting like the ultimate package. I do that with all of the Ubisoft stuff, which is why I subscribe to Ubisoft Plus. Like when I buy something on Nintendo and there's an extra edition, I buy that. When I bought God of War and Horizon, I bought the extra, the extra edition. I just always do.
Did you see the Tears of a Kingdom knife and fork edition? Are you getting that?
I didn't see that. I did not see that, but I will tell you that there are a couple things about Tears of the Kingdom. I got the console, so yes, I was able to acquire the console, and yes, I'm going to open it because I'm a Zelda stan. I didn't get the collector's edition though. I tried multiple times. I didn't get it. That's no problem. I will tell you that a couple of months ago, about 2 months ago, Nintendo has this sale where for $100 you buy 2 tickets and you can get any game that you want for the 2 tickets. Normally, like Zelda is $70 now, right? I paid $50 for it because I bought it. I got it using this $100 2-ticket thing that they have. You can go to the store. They run the sale every now and again. So instead of paying $70 for Zelda, I paid $50 for it digitally. That's great. I got the console because the console doesn't come with the game, which is weird, but it's fine because it's a special edition Nintendo console. But
they don't
getting back to Dead Island 2. This game shouldn't exist, folks. I am a zombie fan. I know that zombies have been done back, forth, left, right, up, down. and maybe people are bored with it. The reason why I wanted to talk about it is because I'm excited about it and I'm a gamer just like you. But Windows Central, folks, they dropped their Dead Island review, and their opening topic for the article is what gets me excited, folks. Is Dead Island 2 review, one hell of a good time. Deep Silver's long-awaited sequel is finally here, and it was completely worth the 9-year wait. Yes, I am so excited for this because, well, I'm a zombie stan. Retri, this is one of those games. This is the other half of my brain that makes me sometimes wonder how these things work, because I'm not sure what gets focused on when it comes to Game Pass. I know that they have had some really, really big hits. I know they've had some really, really big misses. Dead Island 2, for me, Retri, even though you may not play it, it may not be up your alley, screams Xbox Game Pass. And like I said, I don't mind buying games. I buy games all the time for my PlayStation 5, for my Nintendo. It's fine. I buy games all the time. But this, to me, seems like a bit of a miss. First of all, are you going to get the game? And do you think that this is one of those games that, again, it's a zeitgeist kind of a thing. It took 9 years to get here. It really shouldn't exist by all rights. It's getting really good reviews. It's well worth the wait, according to Windows Central, a review avenue that we all trust. Do you think that this is a miss for Game Pass?
No.
Okay. All right. No, that's fine. That's fine. That's okay.
I'm bringing in my inner Daniel, my inner Eeyore. Do not give a crap about this game. I don't. I like zombie games. I like the whole idea of like taking their skin off and like that they're like layered and you can take them off in pieces. I think that's really cool with the dismemberment. If you don't know that, yeah, apparently you can like rip their skin off. It's really gross. But yeah, I don't know. This game, it's not moving the needle personally for me. Boom. My backlog is so huge that will I buy this? Yeah, when it's like $30 or less, personally.
a lot of people in the chat have said the same thing. They'll wait for a sale.
I mean, wait for a sale for this. That's fair. And I expect it to go on sale pretty quickly. And to be fair, in the same breath that talking about like a game like Minecraft that is out today, and this game only has 2 points above Minecraft on Metacritic right now. I'm just saying. Like, I'm not saying 70s are bad. For me, anything 70 and above, I look at, I play. I think a lot of the 70 games are my favorite games. But Dead Island ain't getting like crazy great reviews across the board either. You know what I mean? It's got some low ones that brought down the score. I know a lot of people don't give a crap about Metacritic, but it's Metacritic. So I always like to mention that. But I think, I'm probably going to play Minecraft, which is going to be my first time playing Minecraft. I think I'm going to skip this one. And like a lot of people in chat, I think I'm going to wait for a sale.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
And for the first time ever, I think me and Daniel are on the same page. So.
I mean, look, it's a game that is coming off of a sequel that a lot of people don't remember. I mean, the game before it was a decade ago, right? On the Xbox 360, if I'm not mistaken.
Great trailer, though. Really great trailer.
Amazing trailer. The guy running around after, he's just jogging. The guy's in cocked shape, and he got
the first one. The first one was great as well.
I mean, look, I'll say, for me, like I said, I have no problem buying games, folks. I really don't. And this is one of those games that I wish I would have been. I probably could have pushed the envelope and did the review and reached out for a code, but reviews is not something we do on the channel. Reviews I really don't have time for, to be honest with you, because you stream 5 days a week. Where's their time? But Daniel, again, this is not going to hit every. This certainly didn't hit with you. It's fine. Not every game is for every game.
I'm sure
I just
it'll
wish.
Be fine.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll be a bad game or anything. it's just I look at it and I'm like, man, there's so many games this year.
Yeah.
I only got so much money and so much time. I think I'm gonna have to give this one a pass. It's like I recently went back and replayed the first one, not Riptide, but the actual like the first one.
The original joint, yeah.
Yeah. Well, like last year, maybe a year and a half ago. And I only got maybe an hour or two in, and I was like, oh, that's right, this is what this game is. And then I just like remembered the entire rest of the game and how like basically as soon as you're off the beach and you like start getting into the city, it just gets like really annoying. And I was like, yeah, I think I'm done actually. It's like I'll move on to anything else. And I'm sure that this hopefully won't have that problem, but I've been looking at a lot of the trailers and it has like that kind of humor where it's like real Zoomer humor where it's just like nonsense happening. It's just people like yelling expletives and being like, look, I'm in my underwear now. And you're like, cool, dude. Like, that's really great. Like, it's that level of humor that you see in like the Shazam trailer where he throws the truck and he's like, I just threw a truck and a dragon. Wow, I love my life. And I'm just like, wow, that's cool, dude. I'm so excited.
Stares into the camera.
I'm just so excited for you, man. And I'm just like, you know what? It'll probably be fine, but it's for sure not for me. Like, if everyone that I know ends up playing it and they're like, it's super good, I'll circle back around to it at like Christmas and get it for half off, and then we'll see. It'll probably
I mean, it's fun. It's fine. I think now I see a lot of chat here about IGN. Did they actually give it a 2 out of 10?
No, they gave it a 7.
Okay, all right. Oh no, someone's. I guess they're making fun of Island. Jeremy Brown says IGN's. It's too much Island. Yeah,
they're bringing back too much water.
I like that. That's
Jeremy. That is really good stuff right there.
It's too many zombies.
It's too many zombies, not enough island. I'm devastated. 2 out of 10. IGN. Yeah, that's. That's so stupid, but they did actually say that in one of their Xbox reviews. It was too much of something. I don't remember what the review was, but it was just ridiculous. Hey, Umbra, let's get your hot take on this. Again, this is just a fun topic to open up with. I'm excited for the game. I bought it yesterday. Yes, I used some Microsoft points that I had stored up. Because that's the great thing about Microsoft points, folks. Do your Bing searches. Go on and get your 2,000 free points for just checking in every month.
Do you also?
I can't. I don't know. Is anyone else because there are some people that save up these points to buy consoles. And if you have the gumption to do that, I wish I was you. I'm going to be honest with you, because once I get past 15,000 points, it starts scratching. It's crazy.
I know some people who have over 200,000.
I've actually had people. Who was it? My God, I'm so sorry. It might have been Web Dave. Someone told me that they actually bought 2 Series S consoles.
That's ridiculous.
With points. Like, what? It's crazy. But listen, Umbra, let's get your hot take on Dead Island 2, potentially Retri and Daniel's game of the year.
Yeah, it's interesting to me. Like, I look at some of the things behind it, and you think, man, it's been 9 years since we were supposed to get this game. And as the article pointed out from Windows Central, it changed hands 4 times. So knowing that on top of it, and that it changed hands, I would have most people would have expected it to be trash, right? So a score of 74 on Xbox and 75 on PlayStation, for instance, and of course more reviews. So that's why.
Right.
That's pretty solid. Like you can't much ask for much more, I would say, in that
a game that's also been in development for almost a decade.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so it looks really solid. Now, can somebody point to me? Maybe I'm wrong, but isn't this using Unreal Engine?
I believe it is, and I think it's. You know what? I'll look right. While you keep talking, I'll actually check.
Yeah.
Oh, he's swooping in on the Unreal shilling.
Yeah, because if it's Unreal, you already know I'm sold, right? So no, I mean, it looks really interesting. When I saw it showed off, they showed the Lenny Kravitz looking guy. I'm like, oh man, okay. Are you gonna go my way? I'm like, yeah, I'm into this. And then they showed the game.
You'll be happy to know. Here we go. It is powered by Unreal Engine 4.
Yeah. I feel like I'm back.
Yeah. Just pre-ordered it.
Yeah.
According to DSO Gaming, Dead Island 2 is powered by Unreal Engine 4 and pushes some of the best in-game graphics we've seen to date on PC. In order to capture the following screenshots, we use the AMD Ryzen 9 7950X3D. It cost them 32 gigabits of DDR5 at 600 megahertz. And NVIDIA's RTX 4090. That's what they did for it.
A lot of numbers. That's all going ahead.
Yeah,
of course it's gonna look good on that.
I understand with the RTX 4090, but yeah,
just need $5,000 for that. It's no big deal.
That's a $5,000 rig. Yes, it is.
By the time you're done, Jesus.
Yeah.
How many Microsoft points do you need for that?
Oh,
all the points.
All the points.
Probably like 1 million, but I mean, that's really dope to me. Excuse the background. I might have to mute for a second.
Don't feel bad, brother. They seem to always come for you when you're on this show. They always used to come for me. I don't know if we're trading places here, but
yeah, it's the Unreal Police. It's like every time I mention them, they go by. Like, oh, you said it again. But no, man, it looks really good to me, honestly. And they showed, if you watch the gameplay, not trailer, but the gameplay, I guess, video break, the head of it, I believe, with the Scottish lady and such. Man, that looked,
it looks good, dude.
To me. Yeah, and it's not supposed to take itself so serious. So like,
not.
Yeah, like while I do get what Danny is saying, it's supposed to be tongue in cheek, kind of, over the top.
I like the Lenny Kravitz dude. I hope I could use him.
I hope so too.
I love his style. I think the characters definitely have way better style than I didn't really play Riptide, but from the first one at least.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's really cool. And yeah, like you said, the game looks gorgeous. I think my biggest concern for it is that, like, I worry that it won't have much substance because it looks like it's just, I'm gonna make a cool weapon, I'm gonna hit a zombie with it, and that's the whole game. Like I wonder what this, like, it doesn't look like there's going to be any like story
kind of like Dead Rising
going on. Yeah.
Well, according to the article, they say that it is actually though. Is it?
Well, but where did that article come from? Is that Windows Central? Because I've seen the beans on toast that guy's eating, and I don't know if I've seen some of the food.
Now it's not Jazz though. It's not Jazz.
Yeah, Jazz didn't review it. Jazz didn't review it.
All right.
Yeah, it's from Brandon Rowley.
He's a good reviewer. I like Brandon. I like the way he writes his articles.
So he says it's got visceral melee combat. He says improved character progression. So it's got obviously RPG like elements, a rich and creative weapon sandbox, lots of zombie variety, comical B-movie style story and dialogue, excellent graphics and audio. And the cons are random zombie spawns are a bit weird. Puzzle objectives could use more variety and a few performance issues. Yeah, I'm sold, man. I don't see much negativity in it, honestly. I think I expected somewhat of a higher score, I will say, but 74, technically, or 75, I guess if it had more reviews, I'm sure it would be. That's a great score. It's not great. Let me take that back. It's a good score. So that's telling you that it's a good game. 74 is a good game. And of course, I know, like nowadays, of course, if it's not high
70 is crap.
Right, exactly. I blame my Hooved brothers for that. But yeah, it's actually a good game by those metrics. So I'm still invested. I'm absolutely down day one for this. And
I have thanks to Okami Gaming. That dude is on point. Okami Games. I got to get the guy on the show. He's if you don't know who he is, you should definitely follow him. He has his own YouTube channel. He is Okami Games. It's at Okami 13 _. He's always on the pulse of gaming. And I follow the guy because he's on the pulse of gaming. He put out the Dead Island 2 reviews so far. PSU gave it an 8.5 out of 10. Gaming Trend 8.5. Xbox Era at 8.5. VGC 4 out of 5. Game Informer 7.8. IGN 7. GameSpot 7. Push Square 7. Well Played 7. And Press Start was the lowest one at 6.5. And I mean, listen, again, it's not going to be a game for everyone, for sure. It's definitely a game for Boom. I'm like I said, if you're into zombies and you've been waiting for the sequel, here you go, folks. But I do want to move on to the next topic, but first I got to give a shout out. Where is the comment here? Brian Harris, good friend of the program. He says, Boom's driving makes me crazy. And he was a cop, so I know he can drive a car better than this. I will tell you this. I did not get into a lot of high-speed chases for two reasons. One, I worked in the Bronx, and it's very suburban. There's not a lot of room, and there's a lot of pedestrians. So obviously, you gotta really be laser focused because you don't want to hurt anybody. I would be crushed if, God forbid, I hurt somebody trying to catch a perp. I just let the perp go for that matter. And I've done it. When they go run, like on motorcycles especially, it's the worst because it's balls to the wall, whoever's on that bike. And if you're trying to get them, you're just not, they're going to kill somebody. So you just let them go and you'll get them another time. Unfortunately, that's the case. But my driving skills here, listen, it's a game. I'm not the greatest driver. What can I tell you? I'm 52. So this is my driving skills. But Brian, love that you're here, brother. Thank you so much for the comment as always. But listen, before I get to the next topic, which I'm not even sure, there's like so much to talk about. I think I'm gonna talk about Diablo because that's the hot topic. I gotta read out the super chats. First of all, Mike Clark in the chat. Mike, welcome, brother, and thank you for the generosity. He drops a $2 super chat and says Redfall is a modern gaming issue more than MS, than the Microsoft one. And it's definitely, look, I think at this point, it's going to be what it's going to be. I just hope that the game at 30 looks and plays amazing. I would hate for this game to get points off before anyone even touches the controller and starts reviewing it, because you know that's going to happen. I don't hate Arcane for not doing it. Like I said, folks, I was disappointed with it. I'm just going to wait for the patch because there's literally so much to play. And this is one of my most anticipated games of the year. You've heard me talk about this for months. Every time I saw it, I was like, my God, that game looks so good. I can't wait to play it. So I'm a little disappointed. It's fine. People are going to play it at 30, and it's just, they're going to enjoy it. They're going to have fun with it. Most people who aren't like a Randall Thor, who gets, actually, when you hear him talk, he gets sick talking about playing a game at 30. He's hilarious. Listen, I say play it, enjoy it at 30, and if you don't want to enjoy it at 30, just wait for the 60. Hopefully it's a month, maybe I don't want to say 2. Hopefully it's a month after it releases, and the game is going to be fine. Personally, I would delay it, not for the 30. I like what Daniel put down earlier. It is releasing around 2 monster games, and I don't necessarily know if it's going to survive with the stigma it has and the fact that just 2 monster games are releasing around it. I don't know. But listen,
so,
it's the first
problem. That's problematic for sure.
It is 100% problematic. It's
Yep.
Listen, I don't know, as a publisher or developer, this particular year is so packed with games. I don't know where you can drop it and not be a minefield. Right. It's just too many games. But listen, that's not our problem. It's good for us. We're gamers. The more games, the better. Bring them in. Just my backlog is going to be taller than me, and I'm 6 feet. Shooter 28.
This is kind of why I say boom. Sorry to interrupt that.
Yeah, that's right. No, that's all right. Brother, come in.
Kind of why I say maybe it'd be best if they just delayed it, because I'm wondering, longevity wise, how is that going to affect the game if they do a patch and it's like a year before we actually get that patch? Are people going to go back to that game? I just don't. No. I don't think many people will.
If it's that long, no, I don't think they're going back.
Yeah.
I mean, they could. I mean, for me, being a horror fan,
it's a tough spot. It's a tough spot to go.
For me, and again, at this point, what's another game outside their 12-month schedule? I mean, everything else is, right? Yeah. So what's one more game? If it's me, and it's a matter of longevity, it's a matter of placement, it's a matter of putting your best foot forward for a new IP that is expected to be a standard IP for Bethesda, for Arcane moving forward, right? This is not going to be a one and done. This is probably going to be a series. We probably, if it does well, we'll get a sequel, hopefully. I say drop it around Halloween. It's the perfect time. It's a vampire game. It's a horror game. Take the next 6 months and just say, you know what? We are going to make this the best version. We're going to release it with 60 FPS, VRR support, every bell and whistle you could possibly have to support the Series X, which of course should be the best place outside of PC if you have a $5,000 rig. And okay, so it gets another delay. That sucks.
Yeah,
but take the time.
I think that's why I talked about this conspiracy theory on the fix, actually, where I was like, I think that's one of the reasons why maybe we're seeing all of these like leaks of things that are not good about the game, where it's like, oh, it's only going to run at 30, it's going to have weird co-op, whatever.
So you think that it's kind of it's Arcane or Bethesda kind of putting this stuff out there to say, hey, we're going to delay it because we heard the fan feedback.
Yeah, well, I think that they've already been doing it a little bit. I think that we saw it with Halo Infinite, we saw it with Starfield to an extent because people weren't really feeling that first gameplay trailer. I think that there might be doing this thing where it's like, hey, we know that we need to delay this game, but we also don't want to take full backflat, like all this damage from having to delay it. So we're going to put this out there, and we're going to make it so that the really hardcore people who super duper care about this kind of stuff, like they're the ones who are calling for the delay, and they'll be like, oh yeah, we listen to you, we listen to the fans,
we listen to the people. Yeah, I mean, it's I'll be honest with you, it's certainly smart marketing, Daniel.
It's not the worst
if you turn around and say, hey, listen folks, we really want to put this out, but we heard you. We heard the people out there saying that they want the best version possible at launch without any on having to wait on any patches. So we have made the conscious decision to delay it until further notice. And I mean, if they can say October, but I mean, they could be like, we'll be releasing this year, and as we get closer, we'll give you a release date. I think they should shoot for October personally, because it would be for it. I think it's a great period for it, because I don't know what's coming out. I mean, normally Call of Duty, whatever it's going to be, is going to be November. It's usually that month before the big holidays. So
well, plus if you do it October, then you've got Starfield September and presumably Forza in November. So you would just own September, October, November, and then just like straight into the end of the year.
Yeah,
right into the holidays. I think it's
they may release Hellblade too. So it's problematic all around. So they're in between.
It is problematic, but not so much in the sense of back in the days where, like, Sony and Nintendo, right? They're still very traditional. And again, sorry, folks, we went off on a tangent here, but that's what this is. It's a conversational podcast. I'm so glad that we have over 400 people here. I think why it's okay for Microsoft. First of all, it's not okay for Microsoft to delay games. Get your shit done and get it working correct. That's it. Nothing else from Boom. That just get your games done on time. That's the bottom line. But for Xbox specifically, why it is okay to release a triple bomb like a Forza, a Starfield, and a Redfall in concession, September, October, November, is because they're not basing their success for the games on how many people buy them. They don't have to do that anymore because of Xbox Game Pass. What they're looking to do is have quality content. So someone that doesn't have an Xbox will now consider to buy one. Like, oh, that Game Pass. Well, I can get all these games and I don't have to buy them. I can spend my $15. And if I go with my family, it's $5. Holy cow, it's great. They can do that. See, Nintendo and Sony are still very traditional, where we have to sell a box and to you, and then you have to buy said game on box, and we have to sell a certain amount of these games and these boxes to consider to be profitable for our investors. There's a big difference there. I don't know.
I don't think it's getting delayed. I think you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. Either way, though, that's the problem with this.
Like it's a lose-lose situation. So
it is.
But the other part of it is, like, I know that Xbox traditionally, especially in the later years, has been not great at putting out games, but I don't think this year we're necessarily, like Xbox fans, I don't think we're necessarily hurting for first party content.
No.
Like not even including the ABK stuff. I think we have 6 games coming out this year. Like, one comes out today. So I think we're fine. Like, if you want to delay it a couple months, it's fine. Like, we're gonna be okay. There's so many games this year.
Yeah. There is a lot of games this year, and there's also, more importantly, there is a significant amount of support for Xbox Game Pass through second and third party deals, right? So there's a lot of games coming into the platform. You're going to get your money's worth. Shout out to Sleepy Goblin 2D. He says Boom hits every tree at least once. He's a completionist.
I saw that.
You gotta check him. You gotta check.
My God, I'm dead. I'm dead.
Good.
That's great.
That's a good comment.
Listen, let me catch up on the super chats. We'll get into the Diablo, because this is a game that is not on my list anymore. It was for a lot of reasons for me and Mrs. Boom, because we play these games together. But I don't know. I'm hoping that some certain things that we can change that make the game more appealing for us. But it went gold, folks. We're going to get into that. First of all, Shooter 2853, who not only had open heart surgery a couple of months ago, but he had back surgery last week, and from his hospital bed, folks, in the chat, and even dropped a super chat. First of all, Shooter, thank you for being here, brother. And we're very happy that you're still with us. And hopefully you're at least starting to rehab that surgically repaired back. Just take your time with it. I know, unfortunately, I'm fused as well. I'm like Wolverine, except I don't have claws.
Much love, Shooter.
Yeah, much love to Shooter as well. He drops a very generous $10 super chat and says, "Hey, Boom, Mrs. Boom, Retri, Daniel McGee, and Sir Infinite Umbra need to be cheering up, guys. So, Sir Infinite Umbra, give me some of the Eye of the Tiger." There you go.
Rising up, back on the street. Took my time, took my chances. Let me stop.
I love it. That's good stuff.
I'm back on my feet. Okay, I'm stopping.
For reals this time.
For real.
Yeah, shout out to Shooter. Hopefully, brother, we can take 2 hours of your day and make it fun and make you laugh and cheer you up. And thank you for the generosity as always. Drawn TJ drops a very generous $10 super chat. When I think of Drawn TJ, I think of Greedy Umbra, because he says buy all of WB first so they can be competing in another market. It will make it easier for Microsoft to buy Sega and Take-Two and or EA.
Oh my lord!
Just put all the games multi-platform.
If Microsoft buys WB and they want like a good outline for how they can beat the MCU, I've got one. I got one going.
Yes, they can hire Daniel McGee. They can hire Daniel McGee. He rewrote the whole DCEU, and to some extent, I'm going to be honest with you. Don't feel bad, Daniel. I think your writing is better than current
MCU
anyone at this point.
Yeah, well,
so they should hire you for sure.
I wish we were getting better movies, but you're right.
Yeah. I mean, well, the Blue Beetle trailer did look kind of dope. I'm not.
I think it looks kind of cool.
It looks really cool.
Yes,
I'm
all for that.
I don't know if I'm alone on that one. I like it. I think
Mrs. Boom actually was like.
It reminds me of like what the first Shazam, like I really like the first Shazam, and that's kind of the vibes I'm getting.
No, it's phenomenal. Yeah.
I haven't seen it. I actually have it downloaded, but yeah, I haven't. I'll let you know next week.
I like how you whispered it, but loudly into the mic.
Loudly enough.
I didn't want anyone to know that he may have gotten it from
I borrowed it indefinitely from the internet.
The high seas.
Our matey.
Right. Yeah.
Jacob Novick drops a very generous $5 super chat and says, "I bought a GC and I don't think about it. I'm the NES, PSP, Virtual Boy, and first Game Boy from owning every Nintendo, Xbox, and PlayStation, and I'm only 23. Dude, good on you, brother, for having that kind of collection, dude. That is, I guess he said he bought a GameCube. GameCube is probably one of my favorite Nintendo systems. Like, they had some absolutely astounding games. It's funny. I remember standing in line because I actually imported it from Japan. Back then, I used to import everything. And I remember Mrs. Boom went with me to pick it up, and we stayed online. It was cold when it released. We were waiting at Toys R Us. And she said, when we got into the car, I will never stand on another line again. And she hasn't. When it comes to waiting for a system or a game, that's just me. Let's see. Shooter drops an additional very generous $5 super chat and says, "Here, Boom, put this in the $5 in your boxers." Yes, thank you, brother. I'm going to put it in there. Actually, I'm probably going to turn it around because I have some artwork the additional designs that Sean Labrie is working on with me behind the scenes. We're kind of powwowing. I want to have at least 20 designs for the merch store by the end of the year. And again, I do have a couple that are ready to rock and roll. I'm just waiting on one particular one. Breakfast with Boom. The Richter did an 80s inspired pixel version of it. It looks so freaking good, but I'm waiting for that to come into to fruition.
He turns the underwear around. Also,
there you go.
That's how he gets 4 days out of it. He goes forward.
That's the front, the back, the sides, the in and out. That was from what animated movie that was from? That was from Big Hero 6. That's awesome. I love. That's a great film. What a good film.
Yeah.
Let's see. We have Drawn TJ. He drops an additional $2 super chat, and he says he currently has 400,000 Microsoft points.
What?
That is crazy.
How much does he have?
Wow.
400,000.
Who was that?
That is Drawn TJ.
Hey, TJ, let's talk after the show.
Can you transfer those?
I love it. Jim Ryan's first party GoFundMe account isn't here. Brother, thank you so much, Jim. I know you're busy, and I know that you don't have any tears left after the crying that's been going on, but I appreciate you being here. He drops a very generous £5 super chat and says, breaking, if Diablo hits Game Pass, then we at PlayStation will never recover and have to close shop. Join me in the picket line for the players. The salt is real, folks. Thank you for the generosity. Highlander 001 drops a very generous $5 super chat. Actually, he drops 2 super chats. The first one of $5 says, boom, Stevie.
That's all that was.
Stevie Wonder said, give him a call.
He can't even finish the sentence.
Say it.
He's dying. He's dying. He cannot say it.
Oh my God, that is good stuff. That is good. I don't even know what to say about that, but that is funny. Highlander 001 drops an additional $10 chat. It says Redfall being 30 FPS for $70 is not a good look, but Arcane will fix it. Forspoken came out broken more than Redfall, and Square Enix closed that studio, and more people and other studios. Yeah, I mean, look, it's people are going to play this game and enjoy the H out of it, regardless of 60 frames. For me, in a modern day shooter that is expected for you to run gun and use all of these magics to boost yourself up, I'd rather play it in 60. Like I said, I'm like 12 or 13 hours into Ghostwire Tokyo. I'm loving it. I don't know why people. It is so.
I'm right there with you.
Freaking good, but they give you a choice, Retri, of multiple versions, and I'm playing at 60 frames.
Yeah,
I'm playing at performance, and I'm quite enjoying it.
And it still looks. It's still very pretty.
Still looks really
I'm
good.
barely seeing any difference on the Series X.
It looks really good. I'm quite enjoying it. We also have a Highlander. Let's see. No, we actually Lord Roughness, who's been a channel member for 2 months. Thank you, brother. He drops a £5 super chat and says, "Hi, Boom. Our crew was so gutted when Diablo 4 open beta ended. Hearing it's gone gold is great news. Can't wait." Yeah, we're gonna get into that in a second. I'm very happy for. I mean, folks, this is going to be the biggest Diablo launch, I think, in history. Honestly, and I don't care where you're going to play. You can play on PlayStation 5, play on your Xbox, play on your PC, wherever you're going to play, on your Steam Deck, wherever you get the game. I think that this is going to be it's going to probably be the biggest release for third party of the entire year. And again, I'm not talking about first party. Zelda is going to be a monster game. Spider-Man 2 is going to be a monster game. Starfield is going to be a monster game. Those are probably going to be the 3 top billing games for each of the platforms, no doubt. But third party is going to be. This is. I will say this. Jez had said something the other day on Twitter that, obviously Jez is a huge fan of Blizzard. He has been since WoW. It's probably his favorite developer and publisher in gaming, right? And he put out a simple tweet that said that he has seen what they're doing behind the scenes, and he has never been more excited for Blizzard than he has on what he knows is coming. So that is great. And another reason why Microsoft wants to acquire Blizzard, because when you say Blizzard, it's PC, and they need help in that area. We also have Highland Double One drops an additional $2. Super chat says, I have holy 690,000 Microsoft points. Oh my
Jesus.
Almost
good
$700
on
worth.
you, brother.
Jeez.
That is crazy. Look, it's Keasante, the insider. He drops a very generous $5 super chat and says, if Umber is taking requests, I need quit playing games with my heart from the Backstreet Boys for Xbox gamers upset over the with Xbox over Redfall. Oh, that's scandalous.
Quit playing games with my heart. With my heart. Okay. With my heart.
Someone sign this man. Somebody sign this man, please. Not an insider, but he certainly has the great singer voice. But Retri, I'm going to go to you first on this. Diablo 4, you are through the roof excited for this game. Mrs. Boom and I should have loved it, and we didn't. And what I'm hoping is that we, because we're like I said, I was talking about this in the chat. We're just about to finish the hardest level in Baldur's Gate 1, and we'll have 1,000 achievements in Baldur's Gate 1, Baldur's Gate 2. We're going to start Diablo 3 all over in the next coming days and run through that a couple of times. We're still a little on the fence about it. I'm hoping that we can do some things to make it more appealing to us. Like I said, I didn't like the fact the character was so small. I know that you can bring the camera closer, which we're going to try. Do you believe this might be the biggest game of the year for third party of the entire year? Because everybody that I see talking about this game, and I'm talking about big time YouTubers, small time YouTubers, regular community members, people are just crazy about this game. How big of a deal is this? And do you think there's some chance still that this gets into Game Pass, dude?
I think I do think it's going to be Diablo's biggest, biggest debut. Just based on users alone, I think. Yeah. And I do think it will eventually get into Game Pass. What makes me worry is I'm going to have to drop 70 on this because I don't think it's going to happen in the time frame in which I can wait. We've talked about the showcase and them having two different versions of the showcase based on ABK going through, and I would love to see what a great bomb mic drop moment for Xbox to say it's over. Diablo's coming. All ABK games are coming your way onto Game Pass. That's what I want to happen. That's what I'm trying to will into existence. But a part of me, the other side of my brain, saying this probably ain't gonna happen, dude. You're gonna have to drop the $70 and use my Microsoft points because that's they're sitting. My Microsoft points right now are sitting there waiting for Star Wars and Diablo right now. And I'm like you, Boom. I cannot save up 100,000 points. If I get around 40,000 points, it's a miracle, and I'm spending that.
It starts burning a hole right in the pocket,
hard
right in the virtual
for me
pocket.
In my head, every day, I'm like, I can spend that and play a game. So I think Diablo going gold is great because it should, if you go and buy the pass, it should lock in the date. So 6.6 should not move, which I think is great. And for me, I played Diablo 2. I'm someone who didn't play 3, even though everyone told me play 3 first. I made the mistake. I went 2. And a lot of people are saying it's more like 2. And I guess maybe it is, but I enjoyed every second I played as the sorcerer and necromancer in Diablo. It might be my game of the year personally. And I know it was Hi-Fi Rush. Then it was Hogwarts, and Diablo was so, I'm probably going to put more hours into Diablo than probably any game, maybe even over Starfield. I don't know.
Here's a quick question: is that a game that you're going to play with friends, or is it a game that you're going? Okay, so you're doing both.
I mean, I already did. During the beta, we played. We basically had community game night stuff, and we already played with the community. But I'll be doing both.
Okay, that's cool.
This is probably going to be a 500+ hour game for me. I'm going to play every single character. I'm going to go nuts on this one. I thought it was that
I'm
good.
so hoping that we can get into that mindset, dude. Like,
yeah,
this is such a game for me and Josie. We play these games like crazy, and I mean, it's. I just hope that somehow or another there is something that brings us back into the fold, because it just every time I see one of the new magics, I am like the one with the dragon, the orange dragon.
Yes.
Holy shit!
Yeah, that was a sorcerer, right?
I would yes, and that's what Mrs. Boom always plays, the sorcerer and not the sorceress. She doesn't like to be the girl character. She likes being the guy characters, and that's just she likes the aesthetics and everything. And that's the character she was using. And we only got up to level 8, and we were like, we're gonna put this down.
Yeah,
and I wish we would have gotten further.
I think Boom, like don't feel discouraged. I just think if you stick with it long enough, you're going to see more pay off, because you only got to level 8, like you said. So you didn't get a chance to really see how far you can really go with anything. You know, it's a long way to go with Diablo when it comes to all
that dragon magic.
The zoom in option is there for you. You didn't know about that, so you didn't get to even test it out. But next time you will be able to. So
you got the pyro gun and all those points is going to come later. But listen, too, you like for instance, I got to level 25.
Whoa! Holy cow!
I got to level,
capped out too. On both times I capped out.
I got 17 on my second character, which was the Necro. Which was really OP, by the way. But
Necro's good.
Yeah, starting out, it was out the gate strong. But I did the Rogue on my first playthrough, and I took pictures, and I loved it, man. I think Boom, it's just a matter of the character class you pick, and I would say it's also too until you start unlocking a lot of those other abilities later on, that's going to open up your mind on it. Like, oh, all right, this is kind of cool.
Like the 3-headed Hydra is awesome for the Necromancer.
Just, you know what's crazy, guys? I know it's two different games, but my favorite game in regards to magic has always been Final Fantasy VII OG. I never forget the first time that I saw Knights of the Round, and I was like, "Are you kidding me?" Like, it took like 15 minutes to do the spell, but it was the greatest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Did you see when
I saw some of the magics, I was like, I hope I can get back into this. This looks amazing.
Did you see the Knights of the Round summons at the end of Final Fantasy 15?
I did not. No.
I think it might be part of the extended ending, because remember when 15 came out originally, it sucked real bad and everyone hated it, and then they patched in a good ending. I
hated it. Yes,
yeah, so they patched in a good ending, and I think one of the things they patched in might have been that Knights of the Round summon.
Oh god, now you have to look it up on YouTube. Damn it.
Yeah, no, you just got to play the whole game again. I don't know why you.
I won't do that. The boy band in the car.
I'm saving a lot of time not playing Diablo 4.
I don't know. I mean, listen, it's Umbra. I mean, like for you, you're definitely a community guy. You definitely play multiplayer. Is this a game that you like from Jumpstart? You're gonna jump on with 3 people?
Yeah, I already have a few buddies who are like, yeah, we got to play this, and I gotta tell you, maybe I'm weird, right? Because growing up, I was always a big Shakespearean fan, so the alas poor Yorick, I knew him well. So when I get into these games like this, I act a fool. And I'm talking about, I start talking like I'm there. Down, you foul demons. I get into character.
That is awesome. I love it. I'd love to be on the end of that mic to hear that. That would be a lot of fun.
Man, boom. I played part 2 of Diablo. By the way, just to say, I didn't really think that part 4 felt like Diablo 2 to me. Retro.
Yeah.
Just aesthetically, maybe, but other than that.
Aesthetically.
Yeah,
it doesn't feel the same to me either. I agree with you. That's why
more fluid and
way more fluid. And that's playing Diablo 2 recently on the remake version of it, which I thought is a pretty solid game. But I thought D4 was just on a completely different level.
I agree.
And it's brought in story, like really not like okay story, like really good story and cinematics and character customization.
The cinematics were crazy good. Yeah,
you know what I mean? So I don't know.
Yeah,
I think this is a juggernaut.
And the aesthetics, I would say, are closer, right? Because it's much more serious in part 2 than it is in 3, and that's why people were like, "Oh, I'll play 3 first." But I enjoyed 3 more when I played it. I got really high in that. I got to 600 plus Paragon and all that after the level 70. So I enjoyed 3 more, honestly, than I did 2. 2, I actually just stopped. I was like, all right, that's enough. I was like, I don't see what people found in this thing. It didn't do it for me, honest to God. Now the cutscenes were top notch for the remastered whatever version, but other than that, it was like, you know. But part 4, boom, yeah, I have a few buddies who are on my case every other day, like, hey, you gonna be in this? Will it be me, you, and this person, and this person? Yeah, you know, we're definitely going to attack it as a squad. And boom, maybe that's another thing besides yourself and the missus. Maybe you can find 2 other people who are, you know what I mean, cool on the mic that won't upset you guys, that you can get into with and actually just really hunker down and enjoy. I know you started with a barbarian, right? I believe.
I was fine with the barbarian. That doesn't bother me at all. I don't need all the magic. Mrs. Boom is usually the magic user, and she was. And again, some of us we only got to level 8, folks. We didn't really get a chance to really rip the Band-Aid off. We're gonna give it the old college effort, and I am kind of even teetering to going back and reordering it. I'll just use some Microsoft points that I got stored up. I mean, like, you buy games and they give you points right back. You spend it and they put it right, like, 5,000 points. Where'd that come from? You know,
right?
I just bought $100 game. But yeah, I'm listen. I want to be a part of the conversation. And I have a feeling that once we are able to set some certain things that we're used to on other games, and it's somewhat similar, especially the bringing up of the camera. I don't need to see on top of the person. I just need to be a little bit closer, where we can appreciate some of the characters and the environment and stuff.
Yeah, you can zoom it in a bit. You can zoom it in a bit. I did myself as well, but I mean, just to say, you only got to level 8, so trust me, you're going to get some crazy stuff later on. And I know that for instance, the barbarian has that leap that he does, or she does, that you can jump around and all of that, like part 3 had it. And my buddy was just, I can go faster than you. He's like the gloat and whatever. I'm like, all right. Just started flying around the stages and areas and and dungeons and such. I'm like, look at this dude. But so you keep messing with that and you get your levels up. I think it'll open up for you guys and you'll be much more happier than what you probably came away with now. But me, I'm starting off with Rogue, which is kind of like Demon Hunter in a way, but it's kind of like Demon Hunter. I guess that's the best way I could describe it. You're kind of swift. You're not very strong, but the way I was building mine, I actually saw somebody else's build. I'm like, let me try that out, and it was pretty fun, man. I enjoyed the hell out of it, honest to God, and I just like the way a lot of it looks. So I definitely, I'm going to be on like Retri's side of things, where I'm probably going to put in a ton of hours in this and play through all these different characters too, because I want to experience how the sorcerer and the what's the other one, the necromancer. What's the other magic user one though, outside of sorcerer?
Well, it's basically necro and sorcerer are usually the magic types. I don't know if there's another type in there that is magic based.
I'm drawing a blank, but it's another one, I think, that I cannot quite put my finger on. It's okay. You got sorcerer. What is that other one?
And the barbarian turns into animals, so I don't know. I mean, I guess that would count.
Oh no, you're thinking of the druid. That's the druid.
Sorry, druid. Yeah, I always mix those two up. So I don't know. Maybe it would be.
Poochie in the chat says it's druid. Yeah, sarcastic chorus as well.
Yep.
Yeah, abnormal status also. Thanks so much. Big Mad Mo also. So it is the druid. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Like I said, I like the character choices. I think this game is going to be freaking huge. To me, it's one of those games, folks, that is going to sell regardless. People, if you are a diehard fan, if you are a Blizzard fan, if you are a Diablo fan, if you are an isometric fan, this is the game you're going to spend your most time on in 2023. I think this is going to sell. I think it's going to break numbers that Blizzard may or may not even understand it's going to break. I just would imagine, Daniel, that if this is a game that you could somehow, quote unquote, shadow drop into Xbox Game Pass, my God, like, just think about this, folks. I'm going to paint the picture for you, Daniel. This would be amazing. We've all been asking, when is the family plan coming? When is the family plan coming? Could you imagine in the same sentence or in the same, 7 or 10-minute spiel that whoever's going to come out and talk about this, you could turn around and say, folks, hey, listen, this is big for us. we're so excited to announce that it is dropping into Xbox Game Pass, but we're also excited to announce that Xbox Game Pass Friends and Family is going live the same day. This would set up incredible engagement with the community. It would be such a high note for Xbox, but more specifically for Xbox Game Pass, because it's a game that is doesn't require, but certainly welcomes in multiplayer. I don't know. I maybe I'm reading the tea leaves incorrectly. What are your thoughts on it, man?
No, yeah. I mean, I think that Diablo 4 is probably going to go into Game Pass as soon as it's legally able to. So it's going to come down to when the deal closes and whether or not there's anything on the PlayStation side that's like, you can't put this in Game Pass for 6 months or whatever. So that's going to be probably the biggest sort of griping point of it. I also don't know necessarily if either of those things, either the Friends and Family plan or, hey, we're putting specifically just Diablo 4 into Game Pass would be the kind of thing that they would have on stage at like a press conference. I could see the Diablo 4 thing if it's like, and we're adding the entire backlog of Activision, like if that goes through in time. Friends and Family
sounds right.
I think that'll probably end up being like, it probably be announced around the same time. Like I honestly I don't think that we're particularly far away from that. I think that that's probably going to be next couple months. I'd be surprised if we get to the end of summer and we still don't know like when that's launching. So that should be pretty soon. I think that it's definitely a good idea. I don't know how much like Friends and Family game, well maybe Friends, but not so much Family, that Diablo comes across as, where it's like, yeah, bring your kid to Devil School Day. We're gonna hey like I don't know if that's necessarily the move, but like if they're leaning more heavily on the friend side of it, then like yeah for sure, get your friends in here, sacrifice your friends to Lilith, it'll be fine. They probably had it coming.
That's hilarious. And that's not surprising by Daniel, for sure. But this is what we love him on the show, because I mean, Daniel, are you?
I missed it. Was he talking trash about my Diablo game? Okay.
I mean, Daniel, for you, is it a game that you're going to play at some point?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I didn't get into the beta or anything just because I don't know. I just didn't. Not because I didn't have interest or anything. I guess I just didn't have time, or I don't know. But
Hater.
It definitely, I am a hater. I hate everything. No, like it looks like a fun game. I've actually never played a Diablo before, because it was sort of before my time. And then 3 came out, and there was all that stuff where it was like, oh, there's this auction house, and it's like kind of gross. And like Diablo 3, from my recollection, was just like generally not super popular. And then I think they fixed it later, but whatever. So I don't know. I've never gotten into a Diablo before, so I think this might be the one. This might be the one I go in on.
I mean, listen, it's certainly it's probably the best version of Diablo ever. It is going to be it's going to have all of the bells and whistles that many fans before you are enjoying. And the fact that this is going to be your first big one, I'm literally almost jealous, to be honest with you, because you're jumping in like literally at the most perfect time. Great amount of characters. They're going to be adding characters, different classes on the back end of some of their seasons. So it's going to expand.
It's probably going to be like I'll probably wait for it to come to Game Pass, because it will come to Game Pass eventually. Hopefully not too long.
It will.
But I don't think it's going to be a game that I end up spending $70 on. Maybe if I end up really liking it, then I'll go and buy a physical copy of it, because I do like having like physical versions of the game.
Me too. I'm still a physical guy with some things. Yeah. So
I still go out and I'll do that. Like I have a physical version of Gears 5, and there's literally no reason for me to have that. But I have it because I'm a collector. I've got a problem, and it takes up shelf space. So
you know what? No, it's fine. No, it's fine. I literally just purchased the Halo Infinite from Best Buy for $10. I have the game, right? But it had this amazing steel book that I didn't see, and it was $10. And I was like, what? I was in that shop. I was over the weekend with my nephew. And he likes to go and check out the games because he's a big nerd like me. Tyler, I love you. And I saw it, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is $10. Well spent. And do I need it? The question is no. But did I have to have it? Abso-smurfly. No doubt about that.
I'm a big proponent for physical media. Like, there's a lot of things that have gone have, I would say, probably more convenient digital means. Like this whole shelf behind me is all manga, and like you can get all that digital, or like I've got my D&D books or my comic books or whatever.
Nothing wrong with that, dude.
I will always prefer to have physical versions of that.
Me too.
Like you can get a PDF of anything, and it's the same price, but no, I'm not doing that.
As far as this game coming to Game Pass after the deal closes, I'm not too sure, man. And
like how long it'll take, or
how long it'll take, because the deal could close in May, right? End of May, right? And the game comes out and launches June 2nd. Or is it June 6th? It's
June
2nd,
6th, right? I'm pretty sure it's June 6th.
But I could be crazy.
So that's a really close time right there. And
it is close. But it could be shadow drop. Like I think Retri literally hit the nail on the head. I think that because there's no physical show, that there literally is two different Xbox shows. I think there was one, if it has closed and we are announcing these, because think about, I mean, just for shits and giggles, folks, think about this for a second. You're an Xbox fan, right? This is supposed to be the biggest year in Xbox. We know what it's going to be. We know Starfield is going to hit. We know that Forza is going to hit. We know that Redfall is going to hit. It's going to be a good game at 30 frames. It's going to be a better game at 60. Hi-Fi Rush came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Minecraft Legends is coming, potentially Hellblade. We have Stalker 2. There's so many games coming out for Xbox. But if you can, as a corporation, guys, or as a platform, get out there on stage and be like, "Hey, folks, we got a special it's a mic drop moment that you can't not ask for a better time." Diablo in Xbox Game Pass today. Right, and people go crazy, and then you talk about all of the library coming with it. I don't know. It would be I think Retro's onto something.
Yeah. They would have to. What I'm hoping, and this is not like a day one sort of thing, but what I'm hoping is that they reopen the backwards compatibility thing a little bit, because once they own Activision, there's going to be like a ton of original Xbox.
I will replay Singularity. I don't know how many people played that.
100%.
God, that game was so good. Oh my God, so good.
That'd be my biggest hope. So Xbox, if you're listening,
I like what you put down.
Games,
They would have to, Daniel, because the amount of games that are going to come into the catalog there's going to be a lot of modern games there for sure, but there are a lot of older games that we would love to play again, and potentially take advantage of what the console can do in regards to upping the graphics. Adding the
I don't know who owns it, but SSX Tricky, I want to play that on my Xbox.
Dude,
SSX 3 is on there, and I saw that the other day, and I thought about buying it because
I forgot all about. I forgot about that.
My favorite, my brother and I played that to the point of nauseum. Daniel, SSX Tricky is by far one of my favorite in the entire series. Like, if they released an HD version of that and it was $60, I would buy it.
It doesn't even need to be $60. I mean, it couldn't be $60, but if it was, sorry, it doesn't even need to be HD. Like, they can literally just port it and have it be like, I'll play it at 720 or whatever it was on PS2, and I'll be fine. I'll be 100% fine. Yeah, because I just played the Xbox version of the first Baldur's Gate, like you and the wife have been doing, and that game. It doesn't look like it's been up-res much, if at all.
But it's still a great-looking game.
Yeah,
it still holds up, dude. Like, it really holds up. Yeah,
just charge me like $5 for SSX Tricky. You just make it playable, and I'm good to go. That's all I need.
Yeah,
baby.
Listen, as far as the game goes launching into Game Pass, though, I'm still just torn on that, and it's for multiple reasons. The sales of the game is a major reason why too. I feel like they're not going to try to cut out those sales that they already have done.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think they'll be allowed.
And I think maybe that
they wanted to.
And I think it's a matter of that too. I think it's too close. And if you all remember back then, even when they got Bethesda, they couldn't just immediately do anything.
Right. That's what has got me worried as well, Umbra. Yeah. That's exactly what I go back to is the Bethesda launch, and just re-looking at it, that it didn't drop instantly, and it took a little bit of time. And I'm like,
took some time.
Man.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
Could this be the same situation?
I'm thinking. And then I think this will be one of, let's say it is cleared and they could. I don't think they would, just because of the sales. Like I said, I think this is going to end up being probably the most profitable Diablo that they've ever had. And
I agree.
Part 3, I think, sold something like crazy 5 million within 24 hours, something like that.
Well, it depends on if you count Immortal, because apparently that made like just a bunch of money.
That makes it still makes
so much money off just like
off MTX. But I'm talking about just all game sales, right? Game sales and such. I know for a fact Part 3 sold a lot, and it's been 11 years now since that. I'm pretty sure this game is about to break some records of theirs.
Yeah, I agree.
I think so. I think so.
I mean, for me, it's a double-edged sword or a two-sided coin, right? Like, if they don't put it in the Game Pass, it's going to sell gangbuster numbers. It's probably going to be the highest-selling game for 2023. And I know there's people, but Zelda is going to sell, and Spider-Man, and it's you one platform or two platforms for like Sony, like PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5. It cannot equate PC, Xbox, PlayStation. It just can't. It's going to be the biggest selling game of the year. There's no doubt about it. I would even dare say that it's going to. And I know Black Harry Potter's in the chat somewhere lurking. Where his game of the year is Harry Potter, which is still one of my top games for sure. Hogwarts is amazing. I think that it might even rival that. I really do, and I know people are like, it's kind of niche, and it's going to be big. But there is the other side of the coin, guys, where if you are trying to push the envelope on your service, and you're also trying to push the friends and family, it really seems like it's timed perfectly.
Exactly.
You get this in there, but hey, friends and family launches alongside with it.
If their plan B with ABK going through for their showcase is to say ABK Diablo and family plan, it's over. Like, I'm sorry, holy effing crap. Like, which is exactly like me and Dave on our podcast, we've talked about this. Like, that's when we expect the family plan to drop. We 100% expect them to say this during the showcase. I'll be very shocked if it doesn't come to the US and the UK then. So but again, I think the family plan is more likely even than Diablo Game Pass personally. Even though I'm trying to will it into an existence, but that would be my God, Mike Tyson punch out right there. Like, you're not
it's sort of a win-win though, isn't it? Because it's like either they're finish the deal in time and they're allowed to put it into Game Pass, and then they can put it in there and it'll have all these subscribers or whatever, all these active players, and they'll still sell a bunch on, like, obviously PC. It's like
absolutely
gonna blow up because that's where the community for it already exists, or like it's still gonna sell on PlayStation, so it's gonna sell big numbers regardless. So even if they can put it in Game Pass, that'll be fine. But if they can't put it in a Game Pass, then they'll just sell even more. So it's like, oh no, what are we going to do with
that? Right, exactly. They don't lose. So it's a
win-win for sure. And that, I thought it was 5, but Wandering Dutch just pointed out it was 3.5 million in 24 hours on PC alone. So it's about to do gangbusters. And by the way, shout out to Dutch, of course. If you all hadn't known, he did the intro for my the Fix podcast and the
Very
overlay.
Nice.
Thanks, Dutch. That was really cool.
Yeah, man, he put in work, and of course, y'all know it's like 4 days, I believe, into his community indie spotlight.
Yep, cannot wait. 85 games, folks. 85 games.
Yeah,
unbelievable. Yep. Well, listen. Let me just. I do want to get into the Sega Rovio acquisition that was announced. Originally, it was going to be over $1 billion. They settled on $775 million for Sega to acquire the Angry Birds publisher. This is a big deal. But I think there is something to be said about it maybe being a bigger deal. I honestly, and again, maybe this is me just being a nerd, folks. I really hope that the push into Japan for Xbox is through Sega. I think Bandai Namco is
through Sega's. Where's Everborn?
Yeah. I know. Well, I have to say Sega 3 times. Sega. Where's Everborn? Where is he? She's going to show up in like Candyman.
He's gonna come through your window. I don't need.
Yeah, I don't know. I do have a fire escape, so maybe he's gonna pop up on this thing. If you see me freaked out, you know what happened.
You're gonna hear the sound get closer.
I love it. Before we get into that, I do want to catch up on some of the super chats that have come in. Dreadful Sean, generous friend of the program, who's been a channel member for 2 months, drops a $5 super chat and says, "I got a G Cloud to play Diablo 4 during free time because I'm going to be on vacation the week after it drops. The G Cloud is awesome. I love it. I use it all the time. I play Vampire Survivors on it. My God, I know it's a 2D." Whack-a-mole kind of a game, but it's amazing. It works. When I have not had any connection issues, and every time I've used it for games, High on Life is another game I played on it like crazy, and it worked great. Drawn TJ drops an additional $10 super chat and says, "The Microsoft Rewards app is messed up for me right now. It says I've reached my annual redemption limit for the year. I've contacted Microsoft. They don't have a phone number." Yeah, they're pretty good about getting back to you. If you reach out to customer service, it may take a day or two, but they'll sort that out for you. And they'll because there's no way that at this point you.
I wish I had that problem.
Yeah,
I guess seems like a good problem to have.
I don't know where to put all my money.
Where can I spend all my money? Highlander 001 drops an additional $5 super chat and says, "I think Blizzard will help with the Microsoft Store on PC once Microsoft acquires ABK and cannot wait for WoW to go into Game Pass. Need the family plan." See, everyone's talking about that.
Good point. I like that.
Yeah, that's a fantastic point, Highlander. Thank you for the generosity as always. Jordan TJ drops an additional $5 super chat and says, "The deal closes in May. Diablo comes out in June. Sony doesn't have the marketing rights to Diablo 4. No, they do not. I mean, listen, it's gonna come. It's gonna be close. It's gonna be like a hairline close. I think Retrie's right on point. I think there are 2 shows there. I think there is one with it and one without it. I hope the one that comes to reality or to fruition is the one with it, because it's what I think Microsoft needs going into the second half of the year is that story that sucks the oxygen out of gaming, meaning that no one is going to be talking about PlayStation. No one is going to be talking about Nintendo. It's because the biggest game of the year in Diablo for third party is not only coming out, it's getting hundreds across the board, which is it is expected to be one of the highest reviewed ever. It's in Xbox Game Pass. And on that note, Family Plan has launched in the UK, in the United States, and people are coming to Game Pass in droves to play Diablo 4. That is the story. And on top of that, the catalog of ABK has just dropped they just dropped 13 Call of Duties into Xbox Game Pass. That's the story, folks. That's what sucks the oxygen out of the room, and everyone and anyone is talking about Xbox. And you might actually, folks, shocker, you might actually see some positive articles from the gaming media. Holy shit, who would have thought it, right? So I just think that it's a storybook ending that Microsoft needs. And I think that, again, I'm not a marketing manager, folks. I'm just a knucklehead podcaster. But I think that what we've put down here today really does paint an exciting picture if, in fact, that does happen. But, folks, let's talk about Sega acquiring Rovio. Retri. Now, I know that this is Sega looking to get a monster IP. Now, Angry Birds, maybe not as big as they used to be. They were like top billing when it came to mobile. They had a couple of films that were very well received. The animation was fantastic. This, I was a little taken aback by this, by Sega. But Sega has, they want to potentially get into mobile as well. They're already there. They have some games that are there. This is a big one to add to it, especially if you can add some Sega branding to some of the Angry Birds stuff. But I'm going to be a little sketchy here and say that I think that this is another reason why Microsoft should acquire Sega, because let them acquire Rovio now, and then next year they announce they're acquiring Sega. I think it's their big push into Japan. What are your thoughts on this? Is there any correlation here?
Well, I mean, I don't think Sega did this just to get.
No. That I understand. Yeah, I'm not suggesting that at all. Yeah, I'm not suggesting that at all.
I mean, it's certainly. I don't know much about Angry Birds, but just like I didn't know much about Candy Crush to find out it's just this massive hit that a lot of us thought was dead. Like we were like, what? Candy Crush? That's still a thing. And I'm hearing a lot of the exact same conversation about this game, and I haven't done my research on it, but I'm guessing that's a mistake. Why the heck would Sega be doing this otherwise? So I'm guessing that it's still making a ton of money. I don't have the numbers, but I've been fooled before. And I was like, who's king? Candy Crush is still a thing. It makes more money than COD and everything else put together. Holy crap. Okay. So yeah, I mean, good on Sony. This, from what I understand, this is right around the same price point that Rovio was almost acquired previously. So my take on the Microsoft side, I am a Capcom first guy. Capcom first.
Me too.
Acquire, but I tell you, like, on the business side of Microsoft, this just made Sega look that much better to me. You know what I mean? From the business standpoint, they now look like that much of a healthier choice to go with. I don't know how this would work with Sega and splitting out Sega's other businesses. You know what I mean? Because there is that problem with the other products and stuff that Sega makes. I don't know what would happen with that. But on the gaming side, yeah, I think this just got a lot more attractive for a possible acquisition. I agree with you, Boom. I think the next move, or the next big move outside of like a Sobo for Microsoft, should be a Japanese studio. I think they need to put another stake in the ground outside of Tango Gameworks. Besides expanding Tango, I think they need another Japanese studio / publisher. And for me, that's Capcom first. But I mean, man, like now it's really like with this acquisition, I don't know. It looks a lot more attractive for Phil and company going forward with the mobile stuff, which I don't care about at all. But there's a difference between my feelings. You know what I mean? Like my feelings versus, and I don't know, who knows? Maybe this will pan out with cloud gaming. Maybe there'll be a handheld for Xbox, and I'll end up playing stuff like Diablo Immortal. I end up playing that little Doom shooter that came out that Colt was talking about. A lot of people really liked. Maybe I will play those things if you give me a proper handheld. But I can tell you, I'm not the guy. I've used it on my phone. I know, right, exactly. See, I was just about to go there, right? I have the devices. I have the stupid hookup that allows me to use my controller with my phone, big chunky boy. And I just don't enjoy it. So it's not for me. But I know I'm also in the minority. Like, I recognize that. Like, we talk about this stuff in mobile gaming, and it's just not for me. Mobile gaming is not for me, especially on the phone itself. When you're playing with a controller or a built device like the Steam Deck, that's for me. It's self-contained, and it takes the controls off of the screen. That's a big deal for me. I hate the controls being on the screen. It takes up real estate, and I'm literally using my fingers and blocking what's going on the screen. I don't like that experience myself, but
what's it called? The backbone thing?
Yes, really the backbone. Yes, that's right. That'd be perfect for someone like me. I'm surprised I haven't got the backbone, to be honest with you. But yeah, I mean, I think Sega. I'm so pushing for Capcom that this almost kind of makes me go, damn it. In a way, it's a weird thing for me. I'm pushing so hard for Capcom that this makes me feel like I might have just lost the war. That it might be Sega, and I'm like, kind of like, F, damn you, Sega.
Well, because
I think it's a smart move.
I mean, look, I've said this before. One of the interesting things that a lot of people don't know about Capcom, and we lost Umbra. We'll get him back here in a second. One of the things that a lot of people don't know about Capcom is that they were literally in the midst of filing for bankruptcy in 2016.
Right.
Like they were on the ropes. It's why they made that Dead Rising deal with Xbox. It's why they made the Street Fighter 5 deal with Sony, because they were a sinking ship.
Yeah.
And something turned around for them with and it saw Resident Evil 7, which was risky, folks. First person Resident, I was like, yep, not for me. I'm a third person guy, and I played it, and it's probably one of my favorite. Not in the series, but I was my game of the year, Resident 7. I loved every minute of it. And then right after that, they released Monster Hunter World, would hit like a brick. And from that time on, 2017, and till today, they have been killing it. Like Exo Primal is another example of a very, very sketchy. It's coming to Xbox Game Pass, which is amazing. I don't know how that game is going to do. I really want.
I have a bad feeling about that game personally. I have a bad feeling that's going to hit and
probably
miss
not going to
hard.
be the greatest. Yeah,
I really have a bad one.
It's probably not going to be the greatest. But listen, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. You don't have to buy it. We'll know more about why they chose to put this game out there versus something else. We'll learn eventually.
Yeah.
But for me, Capcom is the play. I think that if you can turn around and get Capcom, which is doing really well, and I know that you've actually said this, Retri. Sometimes businesses want to get. There's rumors that they want to get out of the business, right? Their investors want to get out of gaming, and they're doing so well now. So it would be a premium for Microsoft to purchase them.
They would probably be 40% premium on top of their market
100%.
cap.
Yeah. Oh, and they'd be
That's
worth
my
it
guess.
too. Is the thing.
They'd be worth every.
I do it in a. I would absolutely do it if I were Microsoft. If I was Microsoft, I'd absolutely do it. But I mean, at the same time, Sega is sitting on so much old IP. It's astronomically insane. They're actually one of the publishers that's sitting on probably more back catalog than almost anybody.
Yeah,
so
they're the old guard that has IP that's
too.
legendary.
It's
IP.
Insane.
Yeah,
it's
legendary.
It's kind of like what Embracer got for their deal when they, like the back catalog. Well, I mean, it's a much better one, but
Embracer just got
a lot of IP.
Microsoft, check this out, guys. For Microsoft to purchase Sega would be like 1/20th or 1/25th of what they're spending on Activision. Like it's crazy how the difference in pricing would be. It would be what's in their couch cushions, folks.
I'm so like
in Phil Spencer's couch. He has like $3 billion.
Radio coming too. Like Jet Set. That's another. See, I'm so back and forth.
As you were saying, that they have all this back catalog of IP that they're sitting on, and it's true. But the other thing is that they're trying to remodernize some of it. Like we've seen Jet Set Radio is probably getting a new thing, and the rumor with that was that there was also the Crazy Taxi thing, and like they're bringing Persona over, or Persona 3 might be getting a remake, and it's like there's all of this stuff that they're like bringing back from the days when they were going toe to toe with Nintendo.
Yes,
and that's like big. That's big deal. Like that's all the stuff like Xbox really needs that. The way that I see it is there's three options. And I think I've said this on the podcast before, so correct me if I'm wrong. But because the three big options in Japan as far as like buying a publisher goes, which I don't know if that'll be the first thing they do there. I think maybe they'll buy like a smaller studio, like a White Owl or something, or who knows. But as far as publishers go, there's really only the three big options, which is Square, Capcom, and Sega. And I think any of those three would be probably like they wouldn't be able to buy two of them. I think we're looking at a
one.
Situation
they'll get one out of the
definitely. Yeah. There's no way they're getting any more than one.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm with everybody where I'm like, personally, I want Capcom because that's where my childhood is, and I think that's honestly probably where the better quality is. The history is with Sega in that they are the older company. They have that old IP and they have all that track record with Xbox, being as how the Xbox was like the successor to the Dreamcast, and like we've been over this all before, I'm sure. So like Sega is the one that I think makes the most sense, and then Square is the one where if you just want to rock the boat, like if that's your if that's your whole situation, is you're just like 100%. I want to get in and I want to buy this building that's on fire and is a total mess and should probably be condemned, but like it's just for the salt, then I hope they don't go for Square. I really hope they don't go for Square. But if they do,
I don't want Square. I don't want Square. I want Sega.
Them at all.
Yeah, I don't want them at all. But yeah,
I'll take Bandai over Square. That's how much I don't. I would take them in a second over Square.
The other thing to keep in mind is a couple of years back, I think it's like 3 or 4 years back at this point, Sega did actually separate their gaming conglomerate from the rest of their company. So they are separate things.
Great.
So you could just buy the gaming side.
Yes, you wouldn't the arcade. Everything has been separated.
Thank
so
you for
it's literally
that
just Sega Sammy right now. Yeah,
that makes
they
separated Sega and Sammy is basically what happened.
That's all right. Yeah. Oh, excellent.
So
crap. That makes it.
Yeah, so
that makes me more nervous. It's like good
and
bad at the same time.
Yeah, so Sega's like a really real possibility, and I think the history is for sure there. Genuinely, I think Sega is the one that makes the most sense. I still would prefer Capcom, so I'm hoping that they can like buy Sega and then like lean on Capcom and be like, "Hey,
money had them."
Starts going exclusive to PlayStation. I'm watching it.
Real quick, Pixelbit G and Drawn TJ, I'm gonna get to your $5 super chat. Actually, Drawn TJ says Xbox drops a $5 super chat, additional one. Says Xbox needs to buy WB, then Sega or Capcom. Money talks. Pixelbit G brings a great point to the conversation. I want to get your guys' hot take on this. As we wait for Umber. Umber said he's having technical issues. They're doing some work in his area, so they shut down the internet. And that sucks.
But it happens.
These things happen. That's what the live show is about. But Pixelbit G, who's not only been a channel member for a year or over a year, drops a very generous $2 super chat and says, "Do not forget." Sega has Atlas and a massive PC arm. Retri, I know you want Capcom, but I think we just put another pin in your balloon.
I know.
Sorry,
I know. Like, I'm not.
Talk about it, brother.
I'm
How
actually,
big of a deal would the Atlas be for Microsoft?
It would be big. God damn it. Like, I'm not. Do you know what the thing is?
I don't want this chocolate cake. I want that chocolate cake.
Exactly. That's exactly it, Daniel. Because I agree with Daniel in saying, like, right. I want my sprinkles. I agree with Daniel 100% in saying, like, it's going to be one, and if I only have to choose one, then I got to choose one, and that for me that is Capcom. But
I agree.
The history is there. Atlas, like Bit G, which I actually forgot about, is there, and he's right. It's a lot of things just start lining up where it does make more sense. I'm fighting my own brain. I am of two minds of this. I'm fighting, the common sense is all screaming Sega, and the fanboy is screaming Capcom, for me personally. But I do what I like, what Daniel mentioned earlier, is Sega doing something that we've been begging Xbox to do, PlayStation do, everybody to do, which is what Capcom did and how they came back and survived. And that's bringing back old IP that is great. Really great for me is Jet Set Radio. I'm a huge fan of that. So I if that gets a AAA treatment, it almost, again, it's like another little point that goes on the Sega checkbox. So yeah, I mean, Atlas and a PC side, that's huge.
Yeah, well, because it's been my sort of working theory for a while, and you can say, well, I say theory, it's really more of a conspiracy. Get your tinfoil hats out, baby. But because every Persona game has had like a predominant color, where it's Persona 3 was blue, Persona 4 was
and then yellow,
Persona 5 was red. I think Persona 6 is going to be green, and it's going to be the first one that launches. It's going to be the first one that launches day and date on Xbox. But hey, if they can buy Sega, then it'll be the first one that's exclusive to Xbox.
Did Daniel just turn into Everborn all of a sudden?
Wait a second. Is he going to get Sloth?
Idle
Sloth, if you're listening, brother.
It's just in. Daniel McGee.
Sloth this man, please.
Oh, I totally know all kinds of inside stuff, Sloth. For sure, put me on your Twitter.
He's like, he'd definitely do it.
Man.
No, you know what? All jokes aside, though,
I like
Daniel,
that. I do like that.
Listen, let's just say that, Daniel, you're right.
I hope so.
There is something to be said about Japan not really caring that Xbox exists, right? Getting that game in day and date is monster, especially when you start talking about cloud gaming, especially when you start talking about people realizing that we got Umbra back here. Yes, Umbra.
Sorry,
Mr. Greedy.
Masshole in the chat just said the White Everborn saga.
Oh wow, wow. Listen, I mean, that's a great comparison because we love ourselves some Everborn. First of all,
I love conspiracy theories, so I'm all about it.
Yeah, me too. I love conspiracy. Listen, Greedy Umbra, as you're known. We're talking Sega potentially. We know that they have prettied themselves up in the last year. They got rid of the arcade division. They got Sega Sammy is separated. We know that there's they might be in the market for an acquisition. We all seem to think that the Microsoft's next, or at least push into the Eastern region is through Sega. Sega just announced that they're purchasing Rovio, the publisher of Angry Birds, for $775 million. I'm not saying that they're or suggesting at all, Umbra, that they are buying Rovio for Microsoft to acquire them. I'm just saying that it would be another notch in the belt to acquire them, because Microsoft is going to do what next? They're moving into mobile, and man, Angry Birds may not be the zeitgeist it once was, but it's still a big IP. And when you're trying to, challenge the likes of Google and Android, and Apple, not a bad IP to have on top of Sega, which we all just finished talking about. They have a monster catalog of IP.
No, I agree. I mean, on top of the idea of them adding to, the catalog of mobile, which makes a ton of sense.
Mm-hmm.
The thing I wonder though, first off, when I saw the price, I'm like, Sega had that much money?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
that was the first.
That was a little shocking. Yeah,
I'm like, I didn't know Sega had enough.
Good for you, Sega.
Yeah, that's what surprised me the most, was that they had enough to actually pay that much. I'm like, man, that was, close to $1 billion right there.
Yeah.
So that surprised me for one. But it makes a ton of sense that Microsoft would be interested. I mean, people they've been shipping Microsoft. They've been shipping Microsoft and Sega for a while now. So it will make even more sense now that they have even more value with adding Rovio to them and the Angry Birds and whatever else. There's also the case of, so much more talent that they bring on board. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because the Rovio team is like 500 plus people that it's going to actually help Sega get into that more too. So even if they're not going to Microsoft, then it's much more so for Sega to push themselves more into the mobile market, which will help them get more coin. It's interesting all around. I don't know the dynamics, but if I had the choice, Sega would not be my first choice of Microsoft. Personally,
would it be Capcom?
Capcom or WB.
Right.
I would say Bandai Namco, but I think they'll run into the same problem they had with ABK, that Bandai is the biggest publisher over there. So
well, that's sort of the problem with Bandai and God, what's the other one? Koei. Like both of those. Both of those have huge sections of their company that are very much not gaming, and are also things that I don't necessarily see Microsoft wanting to get into. Like with WB, it's yes, they have this huge branch that's film and stuff, but I can actually see Microsoft wanting to get into that because they have all this IP. And what's the biggest thing in television and film right now is video game sort of, IP in those situations. Right? So I can see that being a big deal for them. Whereas buying into Bandai Namco and being like, hey, now we make Yu-Gi-Oh cards is like, I don't know that that's necessarily something that they're looking at. I mean, it makes money. So, if they're just looking at the numbers in the column, then maybe, but I don't know. That one seems a little bit more far-fetched to me.
Yeah. I mean, listen,
it's a bit far-fetched for sure. But just saying, like, if it was my choice, if I had the choice, Sega would be kind of last on that list, honestly. But
last over everybody, even wow.
I would pick so many people over them.
Yeah, okay.
I guess between is more fair. But
cry, bud.
I know, right? Listen, I used to love Sega growing up. I would miss school sometimes to try to play some Sonic or something. But Yeah. The thing about Sega is, and the reason why I feel like the way I do is, Sega's not sexy anymore, and I hate to say it that way, but they're not. Sonic is a shadow of what he used to be. Compared, like Sonic used to be big back then.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And now he's kind of a shadow of that. So now I'm hoping they can rebound and get him up there because I love Sonic, but I just don't see it happening anytime soon. Exactly. The movies are doing well though, so maybe you never know. But but yeah, I just don't think it's a sexier purchase. Now you do have some quality stuff there. You got the Yakuza titles, which I love. You have the you have the Persona series. You have what else do they have? They have Certain Affinity, right? Not Certain Affinity.
You're talking about Creative Assembly.
Creative Assembly.
Yeah,
so
exactly. Somebody brought that up in the chat. It was a super chat, so I apologize that I forget the name. But they mentioned the PC Armor. We didn't really talk about it, but yeah, Sega also has the whole Total War franchise. Like they're one of the only people who are still doing RTSs and strategy games, which is a big chunk of my heart. Those Total War games are phenomenal. They are so good. And Xbox, of course, also very interested in the PC marketplace, as is proven by, honestly, the ABK deal. So yeah, it just.
And didn't we just get that rumor with the Shin Megami Tensei possibly?
SMT,
the SMT rumor just came out too. Oh my god, everything's stacking against Capcom.
Sorry, Retri, your Capcom dreams have been dashed.
Look, hey, I've got that same dream. I just gave up on it a while ago.
Look at the chat. Look at the chat, Boom. I knew if I slandered Sega enough, he would show up.
We found him.
We got him. We got him in here.
We got him, ladies and gentlemen. We got him.
We got him. Yep.
Did you know you have a white doppelganger?
He said, "Let me in."
Oh my God! Hold on a sec. Let me just copy and paste this over here. I said it. Hold on a sec. Here he is. Yep. There he is.
There's nothing wrong with second place. Sega's just the first loser. I want Capcom. Sorry. Sega was second choice, though.
I hear you guys talking Sega plus Rovio. Send me a link. I can add some insight before my next meeting. Brother, check the DM. Let's get you in here. Let's get your hot take on this.
Sega would be my third choice. I agree with Umbra. I would go WB, Capcom, and then Sega.
Okay. Well, all right, guys. If we're talking,
if we're going outside of Japan,
if we're going outside, I'm with WB too. 1,000% WB.
But if we're just talking about Japan,
Capcom and WB is my top two.
If we're just talking about Japan, though, Capcom.
Yeah, stick with Japan only because it is a market that they're looking to push into, and like I said, all jokes aside, I think now, particularly this moment, it's probably the most viable that they could get in there because of what happened with Japan. Originally was going to block the deal, and then the government got involved and said, whoa, hold on a sec here, we're doing a trade agreement and you're blocking one of our companies, but your companies can come here and do all the business they want. 98-2, you got to let this through. They let it go.
Let's strike while the iron's hot. As soon as ABK is done, let's go.
Microsoft go over there and give Japan some American freedom. But
freedom.
Someone in the chat is bringing up that they're also struggling in the EU, and that's true. But also the EU spells color with a U, so do we really care what they have to say?
Holy
petrol, fill up.
But no,
fill up my tank with petrol. Sorry.
But give me Capcom, right? And people will point out, of course, Capcom is soaring right now, so they might not want to sell. But I think
that's what I think. I think they're just doing too well.
But if you you give anybody a big enough check, they're going to sell. So
exactly.
Here he is. Everyone's
premium, baby.
Welcome.
Just want to say that Daniel was trashing Sega. I don't know why.
Oh yeah, it was totally me.
It might have been me a little bit. I wasn't trashing Sega. They're my second choice.
All right, so
second choice.
Everyone, let's get your hot take on the Sega Rovio deal. Obviously, you are our Sega aficionado, if you will. You are Sega. You're Sega Blue through. Talk about it, brother. Let's get your hot take insight.
All right, can you guys hear me?
We can hear you. Fine.
Yes, sir.
All right, perfect. Okay, really quick. I only have till 2:00. So I have to take this in sections. Aside from the Judas. That is Umbra talking about Sega. We will talk. I'll save that for offline.
Oh my God! I love
now. So many circles we run in together, Umbra. I can't. Ectu Brute. Ectu Brute.
All along, I was ready
Beware
to
of the
stab you in the
Ides
back.
of Umbra. But so really quickly, with the Sega thing. So firstly, we heard about this late Friday night, and the first thing I said, because I have a rule with acquisitions, if the first we're hearing of it is from a leak, then talks have broken down, right? You never usually hear, oh, these people are in talks for an acquisition, and then it comes into fruition. Usually for an acquisition to sort of have teeth and it's really happening, you will hear about it from the parties first, because, you know, they have to notify regulators around the world if they're going to do this, these kind of things. So when I heard it, I was like, yeah, they were talking, but this leaked, so it's probably not going to happen. But then I realized the news broke at Friday night. So there's no regulators you could notify over the weekend, because they work Monday to Friday. So I said, if we get the we have till Monday to know that it's real. So it's told me that if you noticed, it was leaked at $1 billion. And
Yes.
Then, but the actual sale price was like $775. So it tells me on the I don't think it was Rovio. I think it's the Finnish government, because they have shares in that company. I mean, if you're in Finland, the government invests in all the gaming companies. But anyway, I think that they wanted a higher price, and so they leaked it at $1 billion to gauge public sentiment, and they leaked it specifically Friday night so that they could have the weekend to try to drive up whatever the sale price was. So that's that part of it.
Makes sense.
Now, you may say, why Rovio? A lot of people say, well, Angry Birds is on the downswing. It is, but Rovio actually makes a lot of money, and people are always surprised at the money that these mobile publishers are getting acquired for, because we in the console and PC space don't understand that mobile is bigger than both console and PC combined, or almost is, right? Mobile is huge. They print money. Now, why Sega? Why Rovio? The reason I had to jump in here, because I heard Umbra saying that Sonic is not what he was, but this is like, listen, Sonic fan aside, Sonic is actually more popular now than he ever was. You may not know this, but in Sega's latest fiscal year, so fiscal 23, right? They pointed out that Sonic has been downloaded over 1.5 billion times. Most of that is on mobile. Maybe 200 million are traditional means, because it's a 30-year-old franchise, but 1.3 billion is mobile. Sega, if you go right now, if you're on an Android device, and I want the chat to do this so you guys don't think I'm just making this up, I'm not blowing smoke. Go look for Sonic Dash on your Android phone. And the reason
I'm literally looking for it right now.
Right.
I'm look for it live on the air.
You tell me how many downloads it says it has. It has
to
be
right now.
Sonic
what?
Tell you.
Dash.
Sonic Dash.
I'm looking
2.
at it.
How many downloads does it say it has?
For both of them, it's all that Boom said.
100 million plus downloads.
Right. They stopped counting at 100 million.
Yeah.
Right.
There's also another one called Sonic Forces Running Battle.
Exactly.
That's over 100 million too.
Exactly. So Sega has had amazing success with Sonic and mobile. They just had amazing success.
The game actually looks pretty good. To be honest, I'm looking at it right now. It's out of 5. It has a 4.7 rating. It has 5 million reviews.
Make that 100 million and one downloads.
I do want to kind of cut in there for a second, just to say though, Everborn, I hear you, but these are free to play games mobily.
You gotta let me finish the point, sir.
All right.
So the idea, so Sonic is selling more merchandise than they ever have. You noted how the movies are doing what they do. But in mobile, right? Any mobile franchise would kill to have 1 billion downloads. We can talk about COD Mobile. We can talk about all those things. 1.5 billion downloads is nothing to sneeze at. And these are free-to-play games, but microtransactions. Could you imagine if, I don't know, pick your favorite franchise, if they could tell you they had over a billion audience, right? So the thing is, with Sega, all of those games on mobile are made through licensing, right? They don't make those in-house. They got to pay like Gameloft. They got to pay these other mobile publishers. And the idea for Rovio, less being about Angry Birds and more being about bringing the mobile development in-house.
Yes.
So that they can capitalize off of that insane Sonic install base. So the reason why I sort of took umbrage with what you said, Umbra, is because Sonic is actually more well recognized.
That's how you can tell he's a writer, ladies and gentlemen.
He's more recognized now than he ever has been. He's selling more merchandise. He is in Hollywood. All the growth on mobile is on Sonic's side. So them getting Rovio, who has had a proven track record of doing mobile games, and they've only been able to do it with the one franchise, but they've made Angry Birds into an RPG. They've made a kart racer, Angry Birds Go. They've done all those things. But what Rovio needs is different IP to apply that skill set to. So I think it's sort of a match made in heaven, regardless of where Angry Birds is now, because Sonic clearly has the popularity on mobile, and Rovio clearly has the skill set in mobile, and they've talked about this. Rovio can bring other games on top of Sonic to mobile. And adapt them. And again, these are games that we remember from the 16-bit era. So that's easy to do in mobile. Like it's right for that. So I think it's actually a huge deal.
You know how easy Crazy Taxi would port to mobile?
Oh
Exactly.
my God.
Exactly.
It would be popular as all H. I will tell you that right now.
Hey. Now, I still want to challenge that
okay,
Everborn, because you say popular. I argue, is it a matter of Sonic being popular or just more well-known because of nostalgia? And
is that not the same thing though?
No, yeah, because popularity is a different thing. Like people know, for instance, everybody would know Superman, but he's not more popular than Spider-Man. You see what I'm trying to say?
I think he sells more comics.
Well, I think that's going to depend on what your metric is, and I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think you're speaking from the core gamer bubble. I think you're speaking from the console PC gamer bubble. But when we consider gaming as bigger as being bigger than that, or we just consider the size of an IP sort of writ large across multiple mediums,
many things, right?
I think Sonic. I think they've done a fantastic job with Sonic. Last thing to note before I get out of here is, if you notice, Sega right now has been making all the right moves, and you have to give that to Hiroki Satomi, who is the current CEO, who is the son of the previous CEO, and I can't remember the previous CEO's name, but it also starts with an H, last name Satomi, obviously. But he has been modernizing Sega. He has been responsible of the sort of internal restructuring, kind of getting rid of some of the arcade businesses where they didn't work, making the company more lean. People say that it's for an acquisition, which my lips to God's ears. I hope that's what it is, but it seems like they're making power plays to kind of stand on their own, and everything they've been doing so far has been working out. Now, would Microsoft want them? Absolutely. Are they in a position where they want to sell? And I don't know the answer to that right now, because it seems like they are making moves like they want to retrench themselves and stand on their own. And they have young blood who's like, seems like he's ready to go.
What about that the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog that has broken records on Steam? It's been downloaded over 1 million times.
Yeah, apparently that's really good.
I was initially boycotting that game.
Oh no!
But I got into it and I realized it is not what you think. So
he's not actually dead. It's like
it's a game they're playing. They're playing a murder mystery.
Very smart.
Yeah.
But again,
it worked.
It took over for a while the zeitgeist of the community in regards to character IP. And this is where now we turn it into, and I know you got to get out of here, and obviously the show is about done because we're almost at the 2-hour mark, where the acquisition of Sega in 2024 for Microsoft makes the most sense. So I know that
So that's the thing, though. I think it makes the most sense for Microsoft.
Maybe not.
Does it make sense for Sega? Because
that's a good question.
Again, it seems like they're on the upswing, and what I would wish for, but let's put on the petty hat. Who would be in a position that's begging to be acquired?
No.
Oh boy, here we go.
I don't want
He's gonna
Square
go
Enix.
I will fart in that elevator and go once more. Gentlemen, have a fantastic show. I gotta run.
Yeah, brother, go take care of business. Thanks for popping in. We definitely appreciate it.
Evermore.
I am going to slander Sega once you leave.
As soon as you leave, we're talking shit.
All right. Well, listen.
And that's why Sega's the worst.
They're the worst company ever. It's no wonder why Nintendo does what Sega don't. Whatever. No, all jokes aside, listen. This has been a great show. I probably haven't laughed this much in a particular show in a while. That's what we come here for, right? It's a conversational podcast. I hope that you enjoyed the show. 2 hours of laughs and a bunch of brothers hanging out, talking about video games with an incredible chat that saw over 400 people tune in. We cannot thank you enough for allowing us to take up your time and to hear our rants and our exploits into gaming. Let me catch up on the last group of super chats. There's been quite a few of them, and then we will get everyone out of here. And of course, we'll do the outros. Mike Clark, first of all, Mike, again, thanks for being here. He drops a $5 super chat and says Sega has a massive amount of PC gaming experience, not to mention the incredible IP. Sega on PC Game Pass would be epic. Indeed, it absolutely would. Let's see. We have Bone Slave, generous from the program, drops a $5 super chat, and I like this pick. Team Ninja is perfect for Microsoft to enter the Japanese market. Wulong and Ninja Gaiden are great IPs, along with DOA IP. Yeah, I would love for a Team Ninja acquisition. I think that would be
a lot more realistic of a choice than From Software, which is what I think a lot of people want. So yeah,
a lot of people want From Software. I don't know if they could get them, but that would be
it'd be really hard.
Oh boy,
yeah,
I would love it.
But
So many
that's where the
choices.
petty hat comes in. Because you imagine if the next game that's like Bloodborne, because I believe Sony owns the IP for Bloodborne. There would never be a Bloodborne 2,
Where's it publishing?
which would be devastating for those fans, but it would be great for Xbox because they would make a Bloodborne clone, if you will, with new IP, and it'd be only on Xbox, which would be bonkers. Or they would tell Sony, yeah, you guys can actually come out with Bloodborne 2, but it's got to release also on the Xbox platform, which would be wow.
Or Xbox would just buy the IP from PlayStation. If they bought From Software,
they could. They could. But Jim Ryan, he has a GoFundMe, so I don't know if he can. If he would, he might take a deal. He might take a deal. Brett B, generous friend of the program, drops a very generous $2 super chat and says Yu-Gi-Oh is Konami's IP.
I remembered that afterwards, and I was
it's all right. We get it wrong sometimes, folks.
It's hard. There's so many IP.
It's live. I would say live
IP.
TV. Maybe one day we'll be syndicated, but no, it's live podcasting. We get it wrong. JD Gamer drops a very generous $10 super chat, and he's been a channel member, wow, folks, for over 2 years. JD, thank you so much for the generosity, brother. He says, I don't think it's a question if Microsoft buys a Japanese publisher. I think Sony's shenanigans and now trouble with regulators will make that happen. The real question is, can they get 2 publishers out of it? That's a solid question, dude. I honestly don't know if they could get 2. I would be happy with just one major publisher. I really don't want Square. I just think Square.
Well, because there's 2 right now, right? That are like, if they don't get purchased, probably in the next 10, 15 years, they're dead. And
they'll be out of it.
It's Ubisoft.
Yeah. Yes.
Let Sony take them.
They're so messy. Like I just don't want them.
Yeah, messy is a perfect word. The exact same reason I don't want Ubisoft at all. I'll say that.
Yeah, they're
away from them too.
No,
thank you.
Yeah,
they're already gonna have their hands full fixing Activision. They don't need to take another babysitting job.
I only want them to get them to be petty. Just to
I mean, the petty hat comes out for that.
Obviously, a lot of fun had from that.
There'd be great podcasts. I would literally be laughing, pointing at the camera if that happened
for so long.
Sorry. Yeah,
Oh,
I'd laugh and point at the camera and say, Final Fantasy VII remake not finishing on PlayStation.
All your base are belong to us.
Yeah. I love it. That's only NES people understand where Ember's talking about. That is fantastic. We have let's see. Brett Bingham drops an additional $5 super chat and says, Bandai Namco offers more opportunities to the market in Japan, anime, games, toys, grocery stores. They have Dragon Ball licensing rights and own Gundam. Yeah, I mean,
does Microsoft want to own grocery stores? This is my point.
Probably not.
I mean, maybe they do in Japan.
They could just sell them off, though.
Who knows?
They can get rid
Amazon.
of that.
Well, Amazon didn't until they did. So who
Yeah,
knows?
like, I think,
But they don't have to keep them. Like, they can get rid of that.
They could literally get rid of
Sell
them.
it off.
They sell it off. Yeah,
a lot
they
of the
could.
Japanese publishers have like weird side hustles where
They
I think
do.
like one of them sells insurance and one of them has like affordable housing or something. Like they all have just all kinds of weird stuff going on. So you know, I think no matter which direction you go, except apparently Sega, because they just split their gaming division. Sorry, Retri.
Right.
Would be kind of tough.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting look. I can't wait for ABK to be done just to be able to get all these games into Game Pass, but more so the conversation of what's next. Because that's what's going to happen.
Save me money. Hell yeah,
it is going to. They're going to be. They're immediately going right back to the well. They're going to close this out. It's going to be 18 months of headaches and agita for everyone that gets heartburn. But once it's done, it's immediately going to be what Phil Spencer said right after they purchased Bethesda. Their board simply asked, "Okay, so who's next?"
Yeah.
And I think that is going to happen, and there's going to be lots of rumors, and I can't wait to get into it. But JD Gamer drops an additional very generous $5 super chat and says, and if Microsoft can get 2 Japanese publishers, can they get one publisher and then some independent studios a la Mistwalker and Level 5? 2 amazing picks.
That's
the Ninja Gaiden developer in there, publisher. Developer in there as well. I like those picks.
For sure.
But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for again hanging out with us for 2 hours. Hopefully you laughed as much as Retri, Daniel McGee, and Infinite Umbra. And of course, thanks for Everborn Saga for popping in and giving his Sega info, which we know he does.
The Sega spiel, if you will.
Sega spiel. Retri, brother, sell your brand. You got a lot. You're going to be very busy this week. There is a lot of Game Pass news to get into. You might have your opinion popping in to do what you do on YouTube, on Twitter. I love those videos. The shorts that you do on they're amazing. Talk about your YouTube channel. Talk about where people can subscribe. We're going to get you past 1K. Where could people reach out to you on social media and check out Game Pass _daily? And more importantly, check out your weekly show with Web Dave called The Gamers Council. Talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely. So Game Pass _daily for Twitter, guys. I put all my short form content, everything about Game Pass there, which also ends up on YouTube at Game Pass Daily and TikTok at Game Pass Daily as well. And of course, you can go right here. I just put in the link to Gamers Council, the show that I do every week on Sunday nights at 7 p.m. EST with Dave. And I've had all these fine gentlemen on there. Boom, we got to get you on there soon as well. And so Absolutely. We talk games. We talk all the nerdy stuff. Doesn't have to be games. It's TV, movies. Probably I'm going to start talking probably about anime a little bit. Thanks to Daniel and Umbra who have got me hooked on Attack on Titan. He got me, and now I'm flying through Demon Slayer right now.
Nice.
And this is trouble. I'm not watching anything but anime right now. So my wife is like, can we watch another show? And I'm like, no.
Yeah, I just want to start saying the Japanese version of it.
I'm already done with Attack on Titan, guys. I went through 4 seasons already, and I didn't even realize it wasn't done. So I'm like now waiting for it to continue.
Well, now you get to play around in the hopeless waters. And just the hopeless waters that is waiting for that last season of Attack on Titan, because the way they've been releasing it is very strange and weird and bad.
You could always read
I saw the pattern. I know. I'm gonna probably get into that as well. Is it one for one, guys? Is it like if I read it, is it okay?
Yeah,
it's close to a degree. Yeah, I mean, if you if you Google online, you'll find out where to start off at. Well, I could find out for you. I'm pretty sure. So we'll talk.
Yeah, definitely send me some links. But yeah, so you guys can follow me in all those places, and please subscribe and come and say hello. I love this community. So thank you for having me.
This community is the best. I tell you, we're very lucky, very blessed, very privileged to have this kind of a gaming community support us in our endeavors on podcasting on a daily basis.
And buy some of his merch, by the way. I'm wearing the shirt right now, and it's very comfortable.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, we wanted. It took us a long time to get here. It really did. I was very nervous to launch it, and Mrs. Boom and I wanted to do it right. We didn't want to just throw a logo up there and say, "Hey, buy this," dumb merch with one logo. It took a subset of incredible artists in Ben Kenobi, the Richter, and Sean Labrie to all work separately.
Nice.
And thank you, brother. Yeah, that is a Sean Labrie designed t-shirt you're wearing, brother. And he is working on 2 other ones. Actually have quite a few of them that he's working on. Ben Kenobi is going to be doing an upgraded color palette for primetime gaming, a more modern color to give it that pop. And the Richter is working on a few things, as well as Sean Labrie behind the scenes. And by the end of the year, we'll have 20 designs up there. And it takes a lot of money to do this, folks. These artists are worth their time. You have to pay them correctly, and that's what all the super chats and the very generous channel memberships go to, outside of the big giveaways that we're doing. But Daniel McGee, sell your brand, brother. Talk about your new podcast, The Fix with Infinite Umbra. And also, where can people check out your YouTube channel and, more importantly, reach out to you on social media?
Yeah, so you can, of course, as always, find me on Twitter at DanielJMCG, or on my personal YouTube channel, which is just Daniel McGee. I've been taking a little bit of time off on that channel, but we're about to post I think 2 new videos in the next couple weeks here, because I've already gotten one of them recorded and the other one scripted out, so we'll figure it out.
Nice.
Should be pretty fast. And yes, please, this Thursday, every Thursday theoretically going forward, unless me or Umbra die, at 7 p.m. we're doing
that was dark.
Both of us
until Everborn comes back for Umbra for talking somewhat smack about Sega. 7 p.m. every Thursday, we're doing The Fix. It's a podcast where we talk about, gaming news, but also pop culture, anime, comics, whatever happens to be happening that week. We're going to cover it in all of the normal styles that you expect from us, which is to say loud and messy.
I love it. Well, I mean, that's your brand, and it's fun.
That's your brand. Own it. Own your.
No. I mean, obviously, it's honest. It's honest. It's fun. It's a lot. You have a lot of laughs with it. You don't do things. You don't say or do things.
Similar style.
It's a very fun way to do the show. People appreciate the honesty, and I love it. I love what you guys did in the first show. I cannot wait to see what you do in the second. Great that we've added another very, very watchable and listenable podcast to the community that has a significant amount of incredible places to listen to. Certainly not enough ears on your head with the amount of talent, but we appreciate it, brother. And Infinite Umbra, obviously, continue the brand sell of The Fix. This is something that you were dreaming about doing. You and Daniel launched a very successful first episode. You even had Colt Eastwood jump in with you. That is a really, really awesome and big deal.
So cool.
Talk about it, brother. Sell your brand.
Oh yeah, man, that was something special. And I'm feeling like, man, now I gotta up that, and I have to meet this and have somebody else.
Phil Spencer, episode 2, baby.
Right.
Yes.
No better than this, folks. We got Phil. No, but yeah, I mean, I want to say this again so everybody will know. Posted the link in the chat. So if you have not subscribed to it, brother, please do.
Yes.
Myself and Daniel McGee, we go live on Thursday at 7:00 p.m. That's 8:00 Eastern.
Yeah, the 7 is Central Time. I should have mentioned that.
Yeah, because we're Centrals, but we are covering so many things, and all of us are multifaceted. So we like movies, we like anime, we like comics, we like TV shows, and of course we love games. So all those things we'll try to cover. Gaming will have the forefront, I will say. So that'll likely always be the first topic we're talking about. You know what I mean? But we're interested in talking about all those things too. And a lot of people will tell you, well, you got to kind of find your niche. And I'm like, that's going to be niche. That's going to be my niche, talking about everything.
Do you? Yeah,
exactly.
All of it. That's my niche.
Hot button topics are always the best because you stay current, right?
Yeah.
You're not trying to sell a particular conversation. It's whatever's happening. You're talking about it, and that's it's the fix. It's the hot news. So that's a good way to be. 100%.
I'm here and get your fix. And and of course, like I said, I am interested in bringing in all types of groups of people through the show, and like we're going to aim for an hour and a half at the longest. So it's not going to be a long time. It's going to be a good time, not a long time. You all come through, support us, enjoy, laugh, and learn some things maybe. And if you too would want to get into podcasting like that, listen, when I was doing things like spaces on Twitter and things like that, I had Kay Asante jumped into my spaces. He heard when we were chopping it up, talking. He's like, "Hey, you want to come to my podcast this Saturday?" I'm like, "Why not?" Butterflies and all. But I did it, and it's been real rewarding to sit here and talk and have you guys and appreciate me. I probably wouldn't have thought to do something like that before. So don't doubt yourselves as far as they go in the community. Much love to the community. You all are the best. If you feel you can do this and talk games, because you all know your stuff. It's not just us up here. You know what I mean? If you have a quality mic and you say, "Hey, I would like to come up there and talk for a second," hit me up. If you got a quality mic and you want to talk and you know the business, what we're going to be talking about, that's all that matters to me. And of course, Boom, I got to get you through there. Retry, got to get you through there. And so many others. Web Dave, everybody. You know what I mean? I want to try to bring everybody through at a point.
Say yes to the things that scare you guys. It's the best thing you'll ever do. Say yes to things that scare the crap out of you.
I'm going to try to aim for Paris Lilly. I think I'm going to try to get
Paris will come on the show. He would have been on one of my shows. Unfortunately, something happened at the last minute. He had to do scheduling. I think it was something with Xbox. He's just been ultra busy. But I talk with Paris all the time. That's a good dude. I think you can get him on your show.
He's been in my spaces. He's been in my spaces many times.
Paris is a good dude. He's a really good dude. He's on my
Mount Rushmore of like games journalists.
Yeah,
I'm all about it.
I like
Paris a lot.
He's a good dude.
A really good dude.
I actually hit him up back then. He played around though. I was like, "Hey, do you think you can come to Xbox Infinite podcast?" He was like, "Oh,
I'm going through a tunnel."
Yeah, I'm like,
that's his humor.
I'm losing you.
Listen, I am proud to say that I had an opportunity to let people know how amazing Retry, Daniel, and Infinite are. And again, it's something. It's something that Mrs. Boom and I really put into the beams of building the channel, was putting new voices and new faces, new personalities and new opinions to our show so that eventually they would launch their own shows. And hopefully we were able to kick the tires for podcasters that didn't have a voice. Now, I didn't have a voice before, and whether I know a lot of people don't like, Mooch, but I'm always going to be a friend of his, and I'm always going to be very thankful for the opportunities given to me on Crossfire. I was there for 2 years, and I would not have this channel if it wasn't for Mooch giving me a shot. So I'm always going to be incredibly grateful, and that's why I promised myself, and Mrs. Boom promised ourselves, that when we built this channel, and if we were going to make something of it, that we were going to give everyone that wants an opportunity a chance, because that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to lift up others, nurture other creators. I'm not worried about someone coming into the scene and getting more subs than me. They're just a better podcaster at that point. That means that I have to do better. So listen, shout out to everyone on this panel. Shout out to the over 400 people that were here. Again, thank you for the super chats. We are incredibly honored and humbled beyond words that we can do this 5 days a week. And of course, I'm going to close out the show, folks, with something that is important to me. Hopefully one day it'll be important to you. And that's something that my dad taught me when we were kids. And he would say, "Craig, treat others how you want to be treated. And also, it doesn't cost anything to be nice. You live by those rules, son. I can guarantee you're going to have an awesome day." So take care, everyone. And we'll see you next week on the newest episode of the Xbox Factor Podcast.